recording, and we're up and going. We click the little full screen button. Alright, so, hello! Welcome everyone to the stream. Joining me is RJ Daggerhouse, and Jory, how do you say your user tag? I'm sorry, I should ask.
It's Jinxor.
Jinxor. Okay, I will try to remember that, but I will probably use your real name. If I do, I apologize. We'll try to catch it in edits later. Jinxor. Alright.
Whatever.
Daggerhouse, I assume you are good with that, or do you want to go by RJ? Do you have a preference?
Daggerhouse is fine.
Daggerhouse is fine. Obviously, I'm Rook. I'll be DMing, GMing, making silly characters. Tonight's our session 0 for Starfinder with the Learn With Us event that we're doing this month. We'll be asking random questions throughout the night to kind of fill out character sheets and things like that. We will, hopefully, have 2 more people join us throughout the night. When we do, we might have to backtrack a little bit. So first things first, character sheets. Have you guys found your own, or do you just need a quick link to where to go?
We need a quick link.
Okay, literally go to Google and search up Starfinder character sheets, and Piezo has a free one that's super easy. It's not a fillable one, so if you need to print, you'll probably have to print it out. Or if you have Adobe Reader, you could probably use the
Let me pull it up on my tablet. I can fill it out on here.
And then if you guys can't fill that out for whatever reason, just let me know, and then I will look through my stuff to see if I have something, though I do not think I do. I had to do the Piezo one yesterday when I was trying to do this ahead of time.
Easily edit that on any of my iPad stuff.
Alright, so obviously, I'm going to kind of preface Starfinder as in general topics to start off. So Starfinder is the futuristic setting for Pathfinder. It's got a couple extra steps. It focuses on space combat and that kind of stuff, so it adds a little bit more to Pathfinder. But they are very much integratable, and you can switch between one and the other. Though they do not necessarily connect. There isn't a planet that is... This is the Pathfinder planet, and it's in the Starfinder Yaddas. They're intentionally separated, though you can get to them via whatever. So tonight, as we're going through stuff, we're going to go through the character building process, talk about the storylines that we're setting up for the game, set up ground rules, all that fun stuff, figure out scheduling and things for that in the future. As we go through stuff, I'm going to go by what the book says, so there'll be a little bit jumping around. I'm going to read off stuff and do basic terms, and if something interests you, just be like, hey, I want to know about that one, once I finish talking. Yeah. So, yeah, scratch my nose for a second, sorry. Any questions while you guys are figuring out the character sheet on your side?
No.
Okay, second question. Are either one of you guys going to want to be a pilot? No. Okay.
Not that I know of at the moment.
Okay, cool. So, on the same page that has the character sheet, they also have a ship sheet. And I took my time yesterday when I was building my character. I also built your guys' would-be party ship that you will acquire via your adventures. I did all the hard work and built it from scratch, and it's all up to points for when I plan to give it to you. That being said, we might redo it later. But that's neither here nor there. One of the other members who's not here got randomly selected to pick the storyline that we're starting with, and I will surprise you with that when the time comes. Depending on how fast we do the building the things, and if and when other people show up and get their stuff done, we might actually start the first session and get kind of the basics going. Both of you, I know, are D&D players.
Yes.
And you both played 3.5, right? At least a little?
Long time ago.
Okay, so Pathfinder and 3.5 are of the same family, but very different branches. And Starfinder is a little bit more branchy on the Pathfinder side. So when you start doing your numbers and stats and things, do not be surprised if like I have a +10 modifier. Ah, ha, ha, you know what I mean? Like for D&D, that'd be like, oh my god. But for this one, it's starting low level. By the time we get to mid-high level, our characters will be ridiculous. Speaking of characters, as I've planned it now, we're starting at level 1. Since you guys are the first two here, you guys are good with that, yeah? And we'll just play it
Yeah.
through. Okay. Cool beans, cool beans. Alright, you guys got your character sheets ready? Or at least fillable?
Almost.
Okay. I will wait. We're not in a huge rush. We have plenty of time. The plan is to do this stream in 4 hours, but if it goes a little long, it's whatever. It's free for you guys, and we're just doing it to learn the system together. So it'll be good. Let's see.
I had to email it to myself so I could fill it out on my tablet.
Perfect.
No, actually using this thing besides drawing is useful.
Funny story. Yesterday, speaking of downloading things, I thought the sheet was bugged for a while because I printed out like 4 separate times and it wasn't printing any of the black lines on my thing. And I had black in it, printer ink in my printer. Everything was fine. I didn't know what the issue was. It took me like 2 hours. I finally just took the cartridge and yeeted it in the trash, and suddenly it started printing because it only could use color. So if you decide to print stuff out later, don't make my mistake and not make sure your printer ink's ready to go before you do stuff. I was high tier salty, to say the least. Let's see. So, by the way, we plan to just use the core rulebook characters and classes and things. If you guys decide to do some of your own stuff on the side and find stuff that isn't in the core rulebook or one of the other, like starter books, and you find something that's like way better or makes more sense for your character later on, feel free to let me know and we can change it on your free time kind of thing. But for like today's session, we're just going to stick with what's in the core rulebook and not worry about any of the other books or PDFs. Just because reasons.
Gotcha.
Okay. Do you guys have dice? You will need at least 4d6s for this character creation. I guess that's the other question. During this character creation, there's a whole bunch of different processes for building your characters. How would you guys like to build your characters? Do you want to do points by? Do you want to do an average set system, which they already have picked out? Do you want to do a dice roll? Or do you want to do an improved dice roll?
Any are fine. I think it'd be easier for new people to kind of roll the dice and then instead of trying to explain them.
Okay, well, then we'll go with that. So, yeah, all you'll need is 4d6s. And it's pretty standard at this point, but all you do for it is you roll 4 dice at a time, take the 3 highest, record that number, you do that, I'm going to say as a DM 7 times, so you get 1 extra just in case. And then you will keep those numbers, and as we apply stuff to your character, we'll fit them in the appropriate slot. So if we want to start with that, so you have your numbers down, so you kind of have an idea of where your power level will be, then we'll be good. Just as a heads up or warning, though, for most character classes, they have a couple good positives and 1 negative, so having anything below a 10 doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be below a 10. But also, if you roll like an 18 and want to cover your negative modifier because you have good rolls besides that, you could also do that. But whatever. Once you guys roll your stuff, let me know.
Oh, actually, I want an array.
All right. Okay, so you want to do an array, which is fine. Again, it's not going to be the end of the world if we do it differently for everybody, as long as we don't do improved dice roll and dice roll. Okay, so
Well, shouldn't you pick out what kind of character you have before you pick out your
Nope.
number?
Nope. I'm making you get your numbers first.
Wow.
So, you want to do your array, right? So, you can. There are. Oh man, these are really nice. That.
What
So
page
there
is it on, Ron?
are 20 of the core. Oh, right, you have the book. That'll make life easier.
As soon as I find my magnifying glass.
Yeah, I mean, there's three options, right? So there's focus, split, and versatile for the arrays. The focused is 18, 14, 11, and 10s for the rest of the scores. The split is 2 16s and 11 and 10s for the rest of the scores. And versatile is 14, 14, 14, 11, 10, 10. And those are the three arrays that they let you start with.
Okay, the one's a 16.
Okay, so you're doing a split, so 16, 16, 11, 10, 10, 10.
Oh shit! I almost dropped my drink on the ground.
Yeah, don't do that. Bad news.
Rolling.
Oh, excuse me. As a side note, how's the weather for you guys? Also, RJ, your face is mostly blocked off.
Sorry.
You're good. You just got your phone under your computer or something silly. Oh, you know, should probably actually look at chat and see if people are talking to us. Let's see. Reconnect. I believe in you. Why must you be like this? Let's go to the wrong spot. Listen. Aha, there it is. Okay, well. Luckily for us, no viewers, so we can talk all the junk we need to at this point. Alright, how you guys doing?
I'm frustrated because neither character sheets open up on my computer or the files cannot open.
Really? You went to Piezo?
Yep.
That's weird. Sometimes they're a little jumpy. Let's see if I can send you. Let me see if I can send you something over Discord real quick.
If this comes worse, I'll just save a picture and draw on it using my Procreate. I got ways around shit. Might be wonky, as long as it's readable.
Exactly. Let's see. Oh, see me.
Well,
Okay, let's see if that worked. Just be difficult. I see how it is.
Got it.
You got it?
I got it.
Oh, alright. Well, I just got a thing, so I'm going to send it to you anyway, and if this doesn't work, let me know. RJ, you got yours?
I got it, but I can't edit it for whatever freaking reason. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
find what I can edit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. With these ones, I don't know if they're not fillable, which is a little annoying. So it's one of those things that you should probably print out, or turn it into an image and draw on it via your computer, or at least have it to where you can look at it and then write on a piece of paper and fill it out later. Such is the penalty of session 0. You said you found it already, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much.
No, I see it here.
Alright, now I can finally roll. I didn't realize I had to bring my dice, otherwise I would have left them in the car. But I bet digital dice.
Digital dice, that works. I just warn you, they are rough.
It's
Oh, I take that.
46.
I can edit it.
Hey.
Okay, so
Oh, those aren't bad.
the array was 16, 16, 14, and the rest 10s.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my scores. It's 14, 12, 13, 17, 16, 17, 9.
Nice. Ooh, that 9 though. You can drop that 9, yes?
Yes.
Nice. So mine ended up, after the pluses and minuses for my race, was 14, 16, 16, 16, 12, 11.
I don't know, nothing. I got nothing but those base stats right there.
Nice. Okay, so now that you guys have character sheets, we can kind of take the next step forward. Okay, so sorry, I gotta get to the right page. So first things first is character concept. So this is where you kind of like think of what your character is going to be and so on and so forth. I'm going to tell you now, my character that I picked out or made kind of has the thief thing figured out. So we don't really need a rogue unless you want to be. If we double up because we have 5 people, totally fine.
Cool.
But character concept, you guys kind of have stuff in mind? Because I spent quite a bit of time yesterday going through everything to fit stuff out.
What are our standard class race choices?
Okay, so you can pick the classic stuff from Pathfinder and whatnot. So elves, dwarves, gnomes, things like that are allowed, but the new ones in Pathfinder, or the ones that are specifically built for Pathfinder, are androids, humans, Cassius. If I mispronounce these, I apologize. Lashhutas, Shireen, Vesk, and Yoskis. Now, to explain everything but the androids and humans, the Katash are four-armed race from a distant desert world with highly traditional culture. The Lashhata are charismatic and telepathic race of scholars. They have 2 subspecies: a tall one that's smart and witty, and short ones that are strong and brash. The Shirin are an insectile race that broke away from a locust-like hive. They're community-minded, but they're addicted to individual choices. So, like, they're bug people that have communal stuff. They have a little bit of psychic powers, but they are their own people. Then there's the Vesk, which are a warlike reptile race that recently declared a truce against the other races, for now. And then the Yoski, which are called rat folk. These short, furry scavengers make up for their short size with big personalities. Basically, the halfling of Starfinder. But they actually have halflings, so if you want to do a classic race, we can do those.
I think I'm going to go a classic race and stick with my elf.
Okay, so I'm going to go to the end of the book for elf stuff.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Like I said.
So Roger, does the four-armed guy from the desert
Mhm.
can he see in darkness, or
Uh,
anybody any of these night
so,
vision?
well, I do think the Vex have night vision, but let me look. They have low light vision, so they can see in low light, but they do not have dark vision.
Okay.
Um, the
Yeah.
bug people have blind sense, so they automatically get to see in the dark. Let's see. And androids have exceptional vision, so they have low light and dark vision. All right, so elves.
Yes.
So what they get at the starting for their thing is a +2 Dex, a +2 Intelligence, and a -2 to Constitution.
So +2 deck, +2 to which one?
Intelligence.
And -2 to con.
Yep. Uh,
Okay.
and their doohickey mobopera thingamajig. Uh, they have 4 hit points to start, though that'll change obviously depending on your constitution, but their base is 4. Let's see.
Okay.
Their size is medium. Elven, and then I'm going to read off some stuff that they get for just being elves, because every race gets some bonuses and whatnot. So, elven immunities: elves are immune to magic, magical sleep effects, and receive a +2 racial bonus to saving throws against enchantment spells and effects. Basically, you get a +2 on saves against spells.
Cool.
Next up is Elven Magic. Elves receives a +2 racial bonus to caster level checks to overcome spell resistances. In addition, Elves receives a +2 racial bonus to mythicism skill checks. So you go down to the thing and add a +2 bonus in the miscellaneous bonuses to your mysticism. Then you also get a thing called Keen Senses, which gives you a +2 racial bonus to the perception skill. That's nice.
Okay.
And last but not least, low light vision. Elves can see in dim light as if it were normal light. Okay.
Cool. I
If
might
you
have to
need,
pull that up so I could read it
okay,
later.
gotcha. If you're looking at the core rulebook, it is on page 507, and I can always come back and do this because again, we're not in a huge rush. So if you need me to repeat stuff, please feel free.
Okay. Um, my next question are classes.
Okay, well, let's get RJ's thing first, and then we'll move on to that. Dagger House.
Sorry, I had to set up some light. It's dark in this corner, and no, it seems really light.
Okay.
My old light. Picking up all the visual stuff.
So starting at the races, is there any that catch your draw from the new stuff, or are you looking at the classicals?
No, the new stuff, the four-armed guy.
Oh, okay, the Kaladesh. Okay, so let me get to them really quick.
Kasathas. That guy?
Yeah, Kashatash. I will say it right eventually. Casa Thas. There we go. Casa
It's gonna be
Thas.
something different every time.
Every time. I'm never going to say it right. We're going to go four-armed desert people, and then I can't mispronounce that. So, for the people on stream that can't read this, they get a +2 to strength, a +2 wisdom, and a -2 to their intelligence. They have a starting HP of 4. They are medium humanoids. They have an ability called Desert Stride, which they can move through non-magical difficult terrains in desert, hills, and mountains at their normal speed. They're four-armed, so they have forearms, which allows them to wield and hold up to 4 hands worth of weapons and equipment. While they have multiple hands, increase the number of items they can carry and ready, they do not get extra attacks or anything like that for having multiple arms. The historians, due to their in-depth historical training, wide range of academic background knowledge they possess, they get a +2 racial bonus to culture checks. And then last but not least, natural grace, the Caucasians receive a +2 racial bonus to acrobatics and athletic checks. Again, once the others get here, if they decide to show up, they will probably. We'll come back to this. Maybe.
What was the elf's starting HP?
4. Yeah. So again, the 4 is just your start, and then you'll get to add your Constitution bonus.
Okay, so where do we add the bonuses for the? Like, I see the ability score, and I see modifier, and I have upgraded modifier.
So I wouldn't worry about the upgraded modifier yet, because that's like for when you get your ability score upgrades, because you can lose levels in this.
Oh, bye.
Yes, as a DM, I will try to avoid it, but sometimes that's a penalty from various spells / dying until you get some healing. So the upgraded stuff is, whatever. Anyway, sorry. But don't worry.
So I get. Oh, I just need to look at the thing. It's going to ask you.
Yeah, so you can ask me, and then we can always go back and do things. But again, we will come back and make things fit as we go along. Right now, we're kind of just picking out the basics and making some notes on your character sheets, and then you'll make your decisions on where everything goes, and it'll change your stats and all that fun stuff. So don't worry about health and things like that. That's not till like step 8 or 9.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Next step is choosing a theme, and so a theme are kind of like your background in D&D, except for it's more of like how you want to base your character, like what do they like, what do they do, that kind of stuff. So the themes that they have as of now, and again, there's others besides this, so if you don't like any of these, we can talk about a different theme on another thing. But anyway, so you got Ace Pilot, Bounty Hunter, Icon, which is like a celebrity, Mercenary, Outlaw, Priest, Scholar, Spacefarer, Xenoseeker, and Themeless. Do any of those sound fun, and or do you want explanations on them?
Both the bounty hunter and the icon sound pretty fun.
Okay, so Icon is popular and respected celebrity who can leverage the public's adoration for specific needs. You had talked about becoming a bard. That would probably be the closest thing to a bard, though there is other classes. The bounty hunter is an unstoppable tracker who knows how to stay hot on the trail of those who flee. Oh, excuse me.
Oh.
RJ?
I'm thinking like Starfinder or Starfarer.
Starfarer, okay. So, a restless explorer who has a strong intuition and has a collected deep knowledge about alien biology and topology. Map stuff. Alright, let me get to the theme section really quick. Maybe, if it'll let me.
Although Bounty Hunter probably is more what I'm building for.
Indeed. Okay, so Spacefarer, right, would give you a +2 or a +1 to your Constitution, and at first level, it grants you your theme knowledge. You're obsessed with distant worlds. You always mentally catalog everything you learn about new and strange species, so you can recall it when you need it most. Additionally, you can use your knowledge of biology or topology to ensure yourself to alien, near.
Hey, Rook.
Yes, sir.
Rook, you are talking so fast, I can't get anything down.
I am so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, I'm still trying to figure out what my plus and minuses are for being a Cathathaurus for my strength and all that stuff. Oh. You said it so quick, I didn't get them written down, or I couldn't find them in the book because you keep on moving the next thing.
Oh, I apologize. Let me go back. So you have a +2 to strength, a +2 to wisdom, and a -2 to intelligence. And your base health is 4.
Okay. So do I just put that in the modifier section?
No. Just put it off to the side or something like that. Because it'll apply once you put your your numbers in those slots, right? And once you get your slots and your stuff from your theme and your class, all of that will then go into your first set and your first mods, because the upgraded ones are for when we hit level 3, 4, 7, whatever the upgrades are for when you get feats and other things like that.
Okay. I'll just keep note of them then.
Okay.
And then so that's racial characteristics, and then for the Spacefarer, I get a +1 to
Constitution.
Okay.
And then, let's see what else. So, the special ability or theme knowledge, right? You get to reduce the DC of physical science checks to recall knowledge about strange new worlds or features of space by 5. Physical science is a class skill for you automatically, though if it is a class skill from the class you take at first level, you instead get a +1 to your bonus. In addition, you gain... okay, never mind. It already says that at the top. And obviously, as you level up, you get more theme stuff, so some of it can be pretty cool. The first one is always some kind of knowledge that gives you a class feature that you may or may not get from something else. Okay, jumping over to Icon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Icon gives you a +1 to Charisma, and your theme's knowledge at the beginning. You choose a profession skill. So you are hooked deeply into a culture of your icon's profession. When attempting a profession or culture check to recall knowledge about other icons of your profession or details about your profession, its cultural aspects reduce the DC by 5. You get a +1 bonus to checks of your chosen profession skill. Culture also becomes a class skill for you, though if you pick that from something else that you get from your stuff, you get a +1, just like everything else. So what that means is there's a little spot that says profession.
Yeah.
You get to pick a profession, and it's different than your class. And this is literally like a job in the universe.
So is it under like the skills list and it says profession with a blank space?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you get to fill that out. You get to pick what your profession was. What are you a celebrity in? I might save picking that until you figure out your class, just because you don't want to be like an expert in journalism and then be, not a journalist. But then again, this is your character, and if you decide your thing is in journalism or reporting or something silly like that, and it doesn't match your class, that's okay. You know what I mean? Because we all have come from somewhere, right? Everyone does something a little different. Okay. Speaking of classes, that's our next thing as of now. So, I'm going to read them off. If something sounds interesting, let me know. So, we have envoys, mechanics, mystics, operatives, solarians, soldiers, and techromancers. Envoys are charismatic persons good at a wide range of skills who inspire allies and accomplish heroic feats. Again, very bardy. Next up is a mechanic. Mechanics are mechanics. They're your techie, buildery people. I'm not going to explain that one so hard. Mystics are your magic users. These are your wizards, sorcerers, mages, whatever you want to call them. They do the magic-y stuff. They use the mysticism skill, all that fun stuff. Then we got operatives, which are stealthy combatants with a wide range of know-how, who adapt to taking advantage of unprepared foes. Solarians are disciplined warriors whom mastery of the stars grants either a weapon or armor made of solar power. Basically, they get to summon cool stuff. Soldiers are experts with huge range of armor, guns, and melee, who are specialized in certain types of gear. Basically, your fighter. And last but not least is the techromancer, are magic users who attune to technology and whatnot. Because again, in the Starfinder mythos, right, magic is real and technology is real, and very often the two are mixed together. So techromancers focus more on tech, but it makes it act like magic, or vice versa.
Cool.
So what are we thinking on this one?
Can you repeat the first one again?
Invoice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I want to do that one.
Okay. So invoice are, let me go back to them. Sorry. They're basically bards. Is the simplest transition to explain them. But the quick description is charismatic people person, good at it with a wide range of skills who inspire allies to accomplish heroic feats.
I think I want to do that one.
Okay then, easy peasy. Let me get to something really quick. I forgot to add that. Ho ho. Okay. Sorry, I had to change something on mine. Okay, so, of course I flipped past the page I had for you, my bad. I believe I can find it. Invoice. So, your stamina points is 6 plus your constitution modifier. Again, you probably don't have your constitution modifier, so just right now do 6 plus con in that box for now. You also get an additional 6 HP from picking this class. So I believe you had 4 before, so 4 and 6 will give you 10 HP to start, which is pretty common. There's not too many that have more than that. Alright, your key ability score is Charisma.
Cool.
So it helps you succeed in most social situations. Secondly, your high charisma score makes you better at ranged combatants, while high intelligence scores improves your overall skills. So keep that in the back of your mind when you're placing your stats. You get 8 plus your intelligence modifier in class skills per level. So in the little box right underneath your strength, constitution, all that fun stuff, there's a little box that says skill points per level. It'll be 8 plus whatever you get for your intelligence modifier.
Okay. And so I can go ahead and put scores in and add my pluses and minuses.
In a bit. Yeah, that'll be a little bit later on once we get there. Next up is proficiencies, which is on the second page of the character sheets under feats and proficiencies.
Okay.
You're proficient in light armor,
Okay.
basic melee weapons, grenades, and small arms.
So it's a light armor, grenades,
Small
basic.
arms. Alright, and then under the abilities section, the first thing you get as an envoy is called envoy improvisation, right? As you gain experience, you learn envoy improv little tricks that bolster allies, confound enemies, or change the ebb and flow of battle using guile, inspiration, or luck. You learn your first envoy improvisation at first level. You learn additional ones at second and every 2 levels thereafter. The list of envoys appears on the next page, and I will read them off in a second. Okay, so you get to pick your first one now, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Where would I write that down at?
10. There's 10 choices to pick from. Sorry, say that again.
Where would I write them down at?
I would say in your ability section, just do envoy improvements and leave some spaces. Because you'll get one every 2 levels, so that means at most you'll get 10, which is all of them.
Okay.
And then there's some modifiers here that some of the stuff is dependent on language and other stuff is dependent on sense and whatnot, and I will kind of give you warnings if they have that. So the first one is Clever Fent. As a standard action, you fake out an enemy within 60 feet, making the enemy open to your attacks. You attempt a bluff check with the same DC as a Fent to check against the enemy. Even if you fail, the enemy is flat-footed against your attacks until the end of your next turn. If you succeed, the enemy is also flat-footed against your allies' attacks until the end of your next turn. You can't use Clever Fent against a creature that lacks intelligence score. And then it has an improvement once you get to level 6. Yeah, there's so many, sorry. There's a Dispiriting Taunt, same check and distance. Let's see. If you fail, that enemy is off target until the end of your next turn. If you succeed, that enemy is instead shaken. So, if you use this, they get goofed up one way or the other. This is an emotion and fear effect, so if they can't understand you, if they can't hear you, and if they're not smart enough, that will have no effect on them. Next one is Don't Quit. As a standard action, you can signal a ally within 60 feet. That ally ignores one condition, so if they're shaken, off target, off kilter, something like that, they can avoid that one condition. Of your choice, until the start of your next turn, choosing from the following lists, basically all of them that aren't, they're on fire or something. While your ally doesn't suffer the effects of the condition during this period, the condition is merely suppressed, not removed, and it resumes effect at the start of your next turn. Alright, and then Expanded Attunement. You can use beneficial mind-affecting envoy impressions to aid allies who usually would not be able to gain the benefits from mind-affecting effects, such as constructs, robots, and the undead. Basically, that allows you to make your improvisations better. I wouldn't pick it off the start because it would do nothing for you. Next one is Get 'em. Targets an ally within 60 feet. They gain a +1 morale bonus to attack rolls made against a specific enemy. The bonus persists until the enemy moves beyond 60 feet out of your line of sight or hearing. And obviously it increases when I get better. That one's actually really cool. Inspiring Boost. An ally within 30 feet who's taken damage from an attack made by a significant enemy. At any point after your last turn is ended, that ally regains a number of stamina points up to their maximum equal to twice your envoy level, plus your charisma modifier. And then as it improves, it gets better. Basically, you do a quick healing for free.
It's actually not a bad one.
It's not. Yeah. I should probably explain the difference between stamina points and hit points, right? So stamina points regenerate at the beginning of the round, and hit points don't, right? So they stay away. But you can get hit by 3 enemies, and let's say they all do 3 points of damage or something silly, and it'll eat through all your stamina. Any damage after that, you start taking HP, and once your HP hits 0, you die. Again, I'll go over that after we build characters to kind of set you guys up, but just so you know what that is. Basically, you just reset their stamina points mid-fight. Look Alive. When you spend a resolve point to regain stamina points, after a 10-minute rest, all allies who stay within 60 feet of you gain a +2 morale bonus to perception and initiative checks for the next hour or until the next 10-minute rest. It's kind of cool. Now in the face, as a move action, you can choose one enemy within 60 feet. That enemy must make a will save or take a -4 penalty to all attacks against you, specifically, until the start of your next turn. Universal expression. When you use a language dependent. Okay, you won't want that one because it's not good first level. Though later on it will be. And then last one is watch your step. When an ally within 60 feet of you must succeed a reflex save to avoid harmful effects. As a reaction, before your ally attempts a saving throw, you can grant the ally a +2 bonus to that saving throw. That was
I
not bad.
I think I want to do the regen one for right now.
Okay, so that is called Inspiring Boost. Do you want me to reread that one to you really quick?
No, I got it.
Okay, cool. Alright, next thing you get for your level is called Expertise. So you're an expert in dealing with challenges that test your skill, blah, 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 blah. At first level, when attempting a sense motive check, you can roll a 1d6 and add the result to the roll to your check as an insight bonus. You can use this and any other expertise abilities as long as you have at least one resolve point remaining. You don't have to necessarily spend it, you just have to have one. At 5th level, anytime you roll your expertise die, you get a +1 to result, and so on and so forth. It gets better as you go along. So basically, you get a 1d6 anytime you do a sense motive check.
As long as I have a resolve point.
Yep.
But I don't have to spend it.
Correct, you just have to have it. Alright, and then last but not least for your character, you get what's called skill expertise. At first level, and every 4 levels afterwards, you can use expertise with one additional class skill. You must have at least one rank in the skill to select it, and it must come from the following skill lists: bluff, computers, culture, diplomacy, disguise, engineering, intimidate, and medicine. So that means when you're filling out your skills, when you are writing stuff down or whatever, you're going to pick 4 of them and put an E or some kind of marking next to it, so you know that you can use your expertise die on those skills when you roll them. And
Okay.
it works exactly the same way as the check sense motive one. And that's it for first level. Oh, sorry. You do actually have one more thing that goes on your character sheet. And that is your base attack bonus, fort save, reflex save, and will save, which are all on the first page. So the fort, will, and reflex are right here. And then obviously your base attack is directly underneath it.
Yep.
Okay, so your base attack bonus and your fort bonus are a big old whopping +0. So no bonuses to your weapons at this point, but that's pretty much every class.
So that's the BAB?
Yep, BAB. And then your reflex and will saves are both +2. And that goes in the base save section.
Fortitude is also 0?
Yes, fortitude is also 0. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean your total 0, it's just your base bonus that you get from it.
Yeah. And so melee, range, and throw are all 0.
Yes. Yeah, for your base.
Okay.
Okay. Jumping over to RJ. RJ, what kind of class were you thinking?
Soldier.
Soldier. All right, you going? We're gonna be a fighter. It's gonna be easy. I have a feeling we're gonna have a couple soldiers, which is gonna be good. Which means I can throw mean things at you without feeling too bad. Though I really hope someone does a Solarian because those are so cool. I was really tempted to.
Yeah, I thought about it, but they're kind of mean and candy.
Really?
I like the idea of powered armor. Makes me think of Johnny Rico. Matter of fact, I think that's going to be my character's name, Johnny Rico.
Okay, that's cool. I could look at or you should probably look at your class stuff though, for names, and make some kind of variant. All right, so look at you. So your first thing is your stamina points are equal to 7 plus your Constitution modifier. Your HP is a 7 plus whatever you had for your race, which I believe was 4, so you should have an 11.
Yep.
Your key ability score is Strength, with... sorry. You actually get to choose between Strength or Dexterity, but you got to make it at the beginning. So do you want to be a pew-pew or a smash-smash?
Probably smash. Probably still be strength.
Okay,
I
so
got 6. I got 16 of both of them, so I'm wondering if I should switch my other 16 down to intelligence because there's something that affects, huh?
yes, your intelligence affects how many skill points or ranks you get per level. So higher the intelligence, the more skills you can improve.
See, I'll choose
Strength instead of dex. Okay, so just when we talk about stuff, when we say key ability score, oh, excuse me, that yours is applying to strength. It also suggests that a high constitution allows you to soak up more damage. Big surprise there. All right, your class skills. You get a 4 plus your intelligence modifier per level.
which is why I just changed that.
In your list of skills that are your quote unquote class skills are. I done goofed up on that one on mine. Would you like to hear your class skills?
Okay.
Jerry, we'll have to go back to yours because I totally forgot about this one. Acrobatics, athletics, engineering, intimidation, medicine, piloting. You get to pick a profession and a survival. My suggestion with your profession, since you are some type of soldier, is make it some kind of like tank operator or something along those lines. That's a military-esque profession.
Okay.
Jory,
Where,
with your
where are those listed?
they're not listed. You just get to make it up.
Oh.
Now, if I'm wrong, I'll make you change it later. But for now, you just get to pick it. And pick something fun that you think your character has done. You know what I mean? Were you a what kind of soldier were you? Were you know what I mean? Were you some kind of instructor? Were you some kind of tactician? Whatever. Jory, jumping back to yours really quick. Your skilled ranks that you get stuff in, there's a whole bunch. So, you listening?
Yes.
So we got acrobatics, athletics, bluff, computers, culture, diplomacy, disguise, engineering, intimidate, medicine, perception, piloting, profession, sense motive, sleight of hand, and stealth.
That's almost everything.
Yeah, basically. And that just means when you do those things, they get a +3 bonus to them.
so that goes under the class bonus.
Yes.
Plus 3.
Yeah, which means I get to change all mine because I did not do that for my character like a dum dum. Because my character also has that too.
Okay, Rook, you're gonna laugh. I got my profession.
Okay, I'm listening.
Starship Trooper.
All right, I approve. Are you part of the mobile infantry? Which would, again, if you're trying to get power armor, that would 100% make sense for that being your profession.
Can I be a rock star?
You can 100% be a rock star if that's your profession. Heck yeah.
I want to be a rock star.
You are a rock star. Do it.
Don't actually expect me to play anything in real life, but
That's okay. Alright, so I'm going to explain the skill stuff in a bit when we get to that point, all I need you guys to do for this section right now is just to mark down the ones that I told you. Disguise. Medicine. This is perception, which I already had. Profession. I get to pick a profession too. Fancy me. Yeah, wow. I got basically all of them. Isn't that fancy? Oh, sorry. Anyway, back to RJ for your stuff. Sorry. Okay, your proficiencies. You are proficient in light and heavy armor.
Oh, I wrote this down already. Light and heavy armor. Basically advanced melee weapons, small arms, long arms, heavy weapons, sniper weapons, and grenades.
Ah, okay, yeah, basically everything. Cool. Your pluses, your base attack bonus is a +1. Your fortitude save bonus is a +2. Your reflex is a +0. And your will is a +2. Okay, so your first level stuff, you get two things, it looks like, at first level, though they kind of split off. So, primary fighting style. Your preferred fighting style that represents the type of soldier you are. Each fighting style is composed of various style techniques, blah, blah, blah. The descriptors of file are on the next page. So, fighting styles. Some of them have level requirements, so I have to make sure that. Yeah, okay. So, fighting styles. I'm going to read off the ones that you can obviously do. The first one. Oh, never mind. So. Huh. First one is Arcane Assailant. The Arcane Assailant fighting style supplements its combat effectiveness with magic powers, drawing on traditions of warrior wizards dating back to time before the Gap. This allows you to use magic runes, augment your weapons, and call on legendary powers, giving you access to arcane options even when you don't have a magic weapon in your possession. The next one is Armor Storm. The Armor Storm fighting style focuses on using armor as a weapon by maximizing the damage of armor-based weapons while withstanding enemy fire. You learn to increase the effectiveness of attacks made with your armor and add to the equipment normally beyond your character's abilities. Next is Blitz. The Blitz fighting style is all about speed and aggression. To get into the thick of melee, you increase your speed and responsiveness, gain abilities that make you better at melee combat than your enemies, and keep on fighting even when surrounded by foes. The next one is Bombard. This one emphasizes attacking multiple targets, often using grenades, and leverage substance's physical strength to control large weapons with significant recoil. At higher levels, you can use launchers, missiles, and other heavy weapons. Next up is Guard. The fighting style focuses on defense. You become adept in wearing armor, protecting against attacks, and ensuring damage and other setbacks from attacks through your defense. And then we got Hit and Run. Focuses on tactical movement, where you move in and out of combat. You use ranged weapons, but then fight up close. You can even mix ranged and melee attacks. Your abilities allow you to move even when you make full attacks to avoid getting locked down by your opponents. And then Sharpshooter, I think is the last one. Yep. The Sharpshooter fighting style enables you to excel at making accurate attacks, usually with ranged weapons at a long distance. You can ignore cover and other implements to your shots, and your attacks are improved by your intense focus. So, what'd you say? Sorry.
Low battery. I think it's plugged in. It's hot. Not like in the oven.
That's not good. So, thoughts?
So how many do I get? Just one?
Just one to start. You'll get another one at 9th level. And then there are levels in each fighting class. Or fighting style, I should say.
I think hit and run.
Hit and run. Okay, cool. So that means at first level you get a thing called opening volley.
Okay, hold on a second. Where do I put this at?
In your abilities section.
Okay, so my first, it's hit and run.
Yep, is the thing, and the first ability that you get from it is called opening volley. And it says you gain opening volley feat as a bonus feat. If you already have this feat, choose a bonus combat feat instead. At 9th level, you can use opening volley on both your first and second turns in combat. When we get to the feat section, remind me that we need to get you that feat.
Okay.
Alright, next thing that you get at first level is a primary style technique. At first level and every 4 levels afterwards, you gain a style technique unique to your primary fighting style. Sorry. Oh, okay, so that's the thing I just told you. The opening volley. So you're good there, and when we get to feats and stuff, we will go over that.
Okay.
Alright, so jumping back to the beginning of the pages here. Alright, so we got a class, we got your themes, now we get to finalize your ability scores. So this is where you take your numbers that we rolled at the beginning, and you put them in the appropriate spots.
Okay.
Obviously, you're going to want to make your main ability modifier probably your highest, and then I gave you your suggestions on your second and thirds. Everything else is kind of wherever you want it. And from what you guys rolled / picked, you should be pretty solid across the board for most of your stuff.
Can you repeat to me what my second recommendation was?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can. Give me a second. Pretty sure it was intelligence and dexterity.
I think so too.
I will make sure. Key ability scores. Alright. A high dexterity score can make you better at range combat, while high intelligence improves your amount of skills. So if you think being a rock star is about that dexy dodgy shooty rooty tooty, do dex. If you want to just be a skill monkey, which I feel like if you're a rock star, that's probably where you at. You do that. A message. Let's see what it says. Oh, okay, close that. I just realized I have not been watching the Twitch stuff for a bit. I hope no one said anything. Hey, we got one person viewing. Hello, person viewing. Oh, sorry.
Add my pluses and minuses, right?
Yes, and just like D&D for modifiers, they work the exact same way. So basically, for every 2, you get a +1 after 10, and if you have a in-between number, it rounds down. So 17s become 3s, 16s are also 3s.
So like that +2 and like intelligence, I would go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Like a -2 for con. Go ahead and make that 12, 13. The modifier there would be.
Rook, are we messing with the skills yet, or we're still?
You are finishing up your ability score, so you're just putting them in the slots that you want. If you've already done that because you're ahead of the game, cool beans. If not, wait a second. A lot of this is just going to be filling the character sheet out at this point until we get to equipment. Alright.
My scores.
Sweet. Alright, so since you both had your scores filled out, now you get to apply your Oh, excuse me. Class, which we kind of already did when we picked our class. So we're going to kind of jump past this. Oh, excuse me, sorry. What about that? Okay. Now we get to assign skills, ranks, and choose feats. So, on that page, at the very bottom, you have your plus whatever, plus your intelligence modifier. Add that up, and you get your total per level. Every time you level up, you get that many points to spend on your skills. And just like D&D, whatever number you get is what you add to your D20.
So it's the 8 plus whatever my intelligence is.
Yes. Not
So
full intelligence, but the modifier.
yeah, the modifier. That would make that 12.
Nice. Nice.
And I get that many each level?
Each level, yeah. Every time we level up, you'll get 12 points to spend on all your skills.
And I can break them up however I want.
Correct. Yep,
Just like 3.5.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Does that go under ability mod or rank?
It will go under ranks because that's the stuff you've trained in, and so on and so forth. The class bonus is basically a thing that just lets you again. I'll let me read it and find the right spot to explain what that is. So, uh, these skills that you have your class bonus in, if you put any trained ranks, you automatically get a +3 bonus. If you put any skill ranks into them. So if you don't put skill ranks into them, you don't get a class bonus. But if you do, once you put ranks, you get a +3. And it's not for every rank; it is just that rank. So basically, it's a check the box kind of thing, not a thing that multiplies as you go along. But basically, every time you put something into those ranks, you get pluses to it, which means I got to change some of my stuff here.
So
like this stupid thing has ability modifier and it has -5 on everything, and I can't get rid of them.
What do you mean? Sorry.
In the skills, the stupid character sheet has it does automatic calculating for you.
No, weird.
So class bonuses, I only put the 3 in if I put a skill point in there.
Correct.
A rank point.
Yes.
I gotta do some erasing then. But I put check marks against the things that are involved with my class.
Yes, yeah, you put little X's or check marks or whatever. Yeah, and if you put any ranks into it, you get a +3. But it looks like it's a one-time thing, not every time you level up.
It'd be the rank and then my class bonus, and then that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
And again, it kind of just shoots across the board. So that's 6, 8, 7, 9.
And what about the ability modifier part?
So the ability modifier is at the end of each thing. It tells you what ability modifier dictates it, and you just take your modifier from up top and put it in place. So every single skill you'll technically be able to use, but obviously the ones that you don't have high mods in, you're worse at. For exception, all my charisma stuff I got a +0 in for the most part. So most of my stuff is like 1 and 2.
1. Oh, that's intelligence. That's a 4. This is not your bar, George. 4, 4, 1, 1. 4, 4, 4. 4, 1, 4, 4, 1. Wow, this really is a bard. I'm a jack of all trades. Time to do some math. 9, 1, 9, 9, 10, 4, 1, 4, 4, 4, 1, 1. That's it. 4, 1, 4, 4, 1. Okay, I think I got that. 6 plus con. Just 1. Make that 7.
That's fine. Change it. Okay. Okay. How's everyone doing on the skill side of things? You got your little stuff filled out for the most part?
Yep.
Okay, cool beans. Now we get to do feats. Yay! Luckily, neither of you are human, so you only get 1 feat, for the exception of the soldier there who gets his bonus one. But that one's already determined, so. Let's jump to the feat section. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So. I'm going to read off ones that you guys can do. So basically, they're the ones that are blank, and or for RJ, the ones that have a base attack bonus of +1.
Okay.
Engineering, rank 1 rank. Called Barricade. You get to create your own fragile cover. We're both already. Everyone's already proficient with basic melee. Next one is Blind Fight. That lets you reroll missed attacks from concealment. So basically, if you're trying to hit someone who is concealed, you get to reroll your attack. Bodyguard, you get a +2 bonus to adjacent allies' AC as a reaction. So basically, you just, haha, a little better AC for you. But you got to be next to him. Cleave, this one's specifically for RJ. You have a strength of higher than 13, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. So, and you have that. So you make an additional melee attack if the first one hits, but it is against a separate enemy. And then there's an improved version of it later on. Do either of you have 5 ranks in athletics?
No.
Okay.
I got 9.
Okay, then you can take Climbing Master, which allows you to climb at the same speed as your land speed, so you can climb as fast as you can walk, basically. You guys can't do that. There's Coordinated Shot. Allies get a +1 bonus to ranged attack against foes that you threaten. So basically, if you're next to someone, everyone who shoots ranged at them gets a plus. Deadly Aim. And you take a -2 penalty to weapon attacks to deal extra damage. I can read that one off in a little bit to tell you how much, if that's something that interests you. Let's see. Die Hard. You can spend a resolve point to stabilize to stay in the fight in the same round. So basically, you can burn a resolve point and then get up. Diversion. Use bluff to make distractions so your allies can hide. Drag down. When you're tripped, you can attempt to trip an adjacent foe. Far shot, reduce the penalties due to range increments. Bluff 5 ranks. You can do a thing called Fast Talk, which allows you to baffle potential foes, causing it to be surprised when combat begins. Great Fortitude gives you a +2 to your Fortitude saves. Grenade proficiencies. You can throw grenades if you don't already have
Even
that.
better.
You guys already have that. Improved combat maneuvers. You get a +4 to perform one combat maneuver. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking for these other ones. Improved feint lets you use your feint bonus or action use your bluff to feint as a move action. Cool. Then there's a couple of improved versions. Improved initiatives gives you a +4 to your initiatives. Improved unarmed strike. Iron will gives you a +2 to your will. Jet dash, which allows you to jump double your height and double the distance that you jump. Kip up acrobatics rank 1. Standing from a prone as a swift action. I should clarify that your ranks are the stuff that you've trained in. So unless you put 5 skill points in the bluff, you probably actually didn't have a rank 5 in bluff.
Who are you talking to?
Jory.
Yeah. No, I only put 2 in there.
Yeah. But for later. Okay, sorry, what was I? Long arm proficiency, you just have to be proficient with small arms. Gives you proficiency with long arms. Lunge, nope, neither of you can do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Mobility, dex of 13, gives you a +4 bonus to AC attack against opportunity attacks from movement. So basically, it doesn't stop them from hitting you, but you're less likely to get hit. Just can't do that. Multi-weapon fighting reduces the penalty for full attacks when using multiple small arms or operative melee weapons. Nimble moves, if you have a dex of 15 or higher, you ignore 20 feet of difficult terrain when you move. Opening volley, this one's important for you, RJ. It gives you a +2 bonus to melee attacks against target you've damaged with ranged attacks. So basically, you shoot them first, and then you go up and whomp them.
So +2 to what?
+2 to melee attacks against targets you have damaged with ranged attacks. This one specifically for RJ, it's called Quick Draw. You draw a weapon as a swift action. Skill focus, +3 insight bonus to 1 skill. Skill synergy, gain 2 new class skills or a +2 insight bonus to those said skills. Small arms proficiency, which you already have. Sniper proficiency. Spell penetrate. Hey, you guys don't do any magic. I ain't worried about that. Spell Bane. Unable to cast spells or spell-like abilities. You get a +2 insight bonus to saving throws against spells and spell-like abilities.
So that sounds like something good to have, right?
Yeah. I mean, basically, if something's shooting magic at you, it gives you a +2 if you don't have any magic stuff of your own.
Yeah, because I mean, he's pretty much a tank. I don't really like magic. What was it called again?
That one's called Spellbane.
And that's -2, you said?
Yeah. Well, it's a +2 because you're making the save, so it gives you a +2 to your rolls when you're making the rolls. Let's see. Stand still. Make an attack of opportunity to stop a foe's movement. So if you hit someone with an opportunity attack, they stop where they're at. It doesn't stop their turn. They can still do stuff, but they stop. Step up. You can take a guarded step as a reaction to an adjacent foe for moving. Suppressive fire. Provide covering fire or herring fire in an area. Specifically for RJ's character. Toughness, plus 1 stamina point per level, plus all your other bonuses. Basically, it just gives you extra stamina points.
Well, that's tough. Spellbane or extra stamina?
Both of those are good.
I'm gonna take the extra stamina one.
Okay, so that's just called toughness. That gives you a plus 1 bonus to your stamina points per level, plus any other bonuses you would get.
And so we only get 1 feat plus whatever our class deals.
Yes.
Gives me 8 stamina points.
I feel like there should have been another one for heavy armor. Or not heavy armor, power armor. Though that might be like a level 5 only or something silly. Power armor proficiency. Strength of 13, proficiency with light armor and heavy armor, and a base attack bonus of plus 5. So, yeah, basically you have to be level 5 or higher.
My iPad's getting ready to choke and die here, so I gotta switch to the phone. Hold on a second.
No rush. Did I pick?
Lordy.
That's a real question. I pick blind fight. So I get to reroll against enemies that have concealment. And I have, blind sense for 10 feet, basically. No surprise in me. Yeah, if you're going to be a melee character, though, the cleave might be a cool one to do as well.
Yeah, it's protects against some magic.
It's true. Magic could be bad for you. Who knows?
Maybe he just hates magic.
Right?
All right, I'm back.
Okay. So you want the Spellbane one, I assume?
Yeah, I think I'll go Spellbane.
Okay.
I don't know. It's so hard because more stamina, an extra stamina every level just makes you harder to kill.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because by 20th level you get 20 extra stamina points, which is pretty darn good. Because the normal calculation for stamina, right, is, let's see if I can find it here.
Yeah, I have to do toughness too. That's a no-brainer, I think.
Okay. Mm-hmm. 22. Alright, so stamina points are determined by your constitution score in your class. Each level you gain a number of stamina points equal to the SP value listed in your class description, plus your constitution modifier. So, every level, you get basically whatever you got at level 1 every single time. And you guys, since you're taking toughness, also get that extra plus 1.
So 8 stamina points, all right.
Cool.
And then for hit points, you get the number of hit points listed in your class description. So just keep
What's
that
your
in mind.
race? Plus your race description, right?
Nope, just your class. So, from here on, the only time you get any bonuses from your race is from the beginning, apparently.
Should also video.
It's okay. We'll be alright. Alright, next on the list. Sorry, go back.
I thought the
Listen.
race gave you like a 4, and then the class gave you a different amount.
Yes, and so every time you level up from here on out, you get it from your class.
Okay.
Alright, so we've chosen our feats, we've done our skill ranks, all that fun stuff. Now we get to buy equipment. So, every character starts with 1,000 credits for buying things. So, write a little note down on your paper. Make sure you don't spend more than you have. So, I'm going to go through the stuff that you can buy as of now. You guys are going to start with level 1 weapons or lower. There are some level 0 weapons, but your choices are pretty limited. So, you're not going to overspend your money and whatnot. For example, my character was able to get 2 weapons, some other random equipment, and 1 thing of armor, and 1 armor upgrade. Well, 2 armor upgrades, but that's whatever.
Okay. What are my...
Yeah, so I'm gonna go through. Do either of you want basic melee weapons?
Well, I'm gonna need.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay. So the basic melee weapons you guys can get off from the start is unarmed strikes. Ha ha ha. Which
That one's
everyone.
free.
Yep, free. You can take that. Doesn't cost you nothing. It's not a level thing. That just does 1d3 bludgeoning damage. So obviously you'd roll a 1d6 and divide by 2. Round down. Or round up. Because a 3 would give you 2. Yeah. Whatever.
So
Doesn't matter.
1d3 plus strength.
No. There's Yes. Yeah. Sorry, don't mind me. On your weapons description, it should. Yeah. That's plus strength, just like D&D. But anyway, the next one up is a club, which does 1d6. It costs nothing. Then there's a tactical baton, which costs 90 and does 1d4, and it can be thrown. Oh, excuse me. And then there is battle gloves, that is cost 100. That also does 1d4 bludgeoning. After that is the survival knife, which costs 95 and does 1d4 slashing. Also can be thrown. Those are the weapons you can buy at this point from the basic melee.
How much is the dagger?
There's
A
no
knife?
dagger, but it's a survival
knife.
knife is 95.
And the damage is what? 1d4?
1d4, yeah.
1d4 plus what?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just 1d4 plus whatever your strength modifier. If you take the survival knife, it's an operative weapon, so you could technically use your dexterity if you wanted to. It's like having a finesse weapon.
Very cool.
I'll shut that for now. I'm gonna get a plus dex. What's my number 3? Doesn't matter. It's all 3. Oh, that's not true. Okay.
It doesn't have critical or range or any of that nonsense, huh?
Not any of those ones. No. Well, if you take the throwing knife, you actually have a throw range of 20 feet. You can yeet it at people if necessary. All right. Two-handed weapons. that are level 1s. You have the Tactical Spear and the Battle Staff. The Battle Staff is 80 and does 1d4 bludgeoning and has a critical of knockdown. And it can block. And the Tactical Spear is 370, does 1d6 piercing. It can block and be thrown, but doesn't have a special critical. So just so you guys know, the criticals in the box means it's a special critical. When you roll a critical normally, you get to double the damage dice. Some weapons
Cool.
have burns and things like that, so they do have some special stuff. Okay, advanced melee weapons. So this is just for RJ. I'm going to try and find something that is level 1, but I don't have high hopes. Oh, okay, there's a couple things. So, you could get a assault hammer, which does 1d6 bludgeoning and is 95. Basically a one-handed hammer, just bash people over the head. You get a longsword, which is 375 and does 1d8. It does not have the versatile feat, so it's always 1d8. No switching it up. You could get the fancy pantsy star knife tactical, which does 1d4 piercing and costs 110. So basically, it's a little bit better than the regular knife, but not by much. And that's that for the one-handed. For two-handed, there is the Dashko tactical, which does 1d12, but it is unwieldy and costs 240. Wow, that was loud. Sorry.
And that's a that's a level 1.
That's a level 1. Yep, 1d12 piercing, analog and wheelie for its specials. No special criticals. It's a bulk of 1.
Yeah, I think I'll pass on that. I think the dagger will be enough for Ryan Mealy stuff right now.
Okay, moving on to small arms, which is something everybody can buy. You could get the flare gun, which does 1d3, fires 1 shot, but has a critical of 1d6 burn. There's the laser pistol, Azimuth, costs 350, does 1d4 fire damage, has a critical of burn of 1d4, and it shoots 20 charges before it has to be reloaded. Let's see. The plasma pistols are too high level. Then you have the projectile semi-automatic pistol. It is 260, does 1d6 piercing, holds 9 rounds, and fires 1 round per round. No special criticals on that. Then we have a shock weapon that's 250, does 1d4 electric, has a range of 30 feet. I should also say the others have the laser pistol has 80, the plasma pistol has 20, the flare gun has 30. Anyway, the shock pistol does 1d4 electric, has 20 charges, uses 1 per, doesn't have any special upgrades or criticals. And then the last small armed is the needler pistol. Costs 105, does 1d4 piercing, has a range of 30 feet. Has a critical of injection DC plus 2, holds 6 darts, usage 1. Basically, you can load it with poisons and things like that.
Can you repeat the fire one?
The fire one. So that is under laser. So that costs 350. It does 1d4 fire and has an extra 1d4 burn. It's got 20 charges in its clip, and every time you shoot it, it burns 1 charge.
And it's got 20 charges?
20 charges, yep.
And it's got a special critical.
Yes.
So it's just a straight 1d4?
1d4, yep, fire. So if something's weak to fire, it hurts it even more.
And that was minus 350?
Yep.
And then the last one that you said? Which was the poison one?
The needler pistol.
Mm-hmm.
That does 1d4 piercing, 30 feet, 6 darts, injection DC +2, light bulk. Again, you can load poisons and things like that. Or, if you want to shoot your allies, you could put healing potions in them. Or, if you're a rock star, you put drugs in there and mess everybody up. Whoever gets shot, gets shot. I will say drugs are a equipment that you can buy, so if that's something that would be funny for you, keep that in mind when you're buying stuff. All right, next up is long arms and heavy weapons.
Hold on a second.
Oops, sorry. What's up?
Can we get this done first? I mean, I have not got my sheet blanked on me, so I have to go back and figure out what the heck I don't have going on. Oh, yes, okay. So feats was
opening volley and toughness is what you picked.
Okay, those are in there. I'm at 910 because I got a tactical knife.
Tactical knife, stupid.
And then the other one I wanted to do was the pistol.
Just the regular semi-automatic pistol? That's what my character has. He just got a gun. Because it'd be like that. So, it does 1d6 piercing. It costs 260. And that does not include ammunition, by the way. Ammunition is a totally separate cost.
It's a level 1.
Yep.
Oh, Cerese's mom's got the sniffles.
What's that good?
What's the range on a semi-auto pistol?
30 feet.
Does it have a critical?
It does not have a critical, and it holds 9 rounds.
Okay. All right, semi-auto pistol. And that was how much?
260.
250?
60.
60. Okay, so 50, 850, 650.
Alright. Moving on to long arms and heavy weapons for you, RJ. There's the laser rifle for 425 that does 1d8 fire and does an extra 1d6 burn. Has 20 charges, uses 1 per charge. Range 120 feet. And then they have hunting rifles and a scatter gun if you want a shotgun. The shotgun does 1d4 piercing, 15 feet, holds 4 shells, but has the blast effect. So it has fires the entire range, and if any, you can hit as many enemies as there is in the range.
You mean it's not like Fireball where it hits everybody?
Well, it does hit everybody, so be careful shooting your allies in the butt with it. But, regardless. Also, just as a side note, how they determine ranges for guns and whatnot are... sorry, not ranges, but for like spell effects and things like that, really awkward. I don't like it, but it is what it is.
I don't care how big the room is. I said I cast Fireball.
Right, exactly.
I had a player kill themselves with Fireball. They had 2 HP left and said, I'm going to cast Fireball on myself.
Dumb.
And threat myself.
Way to go sometimes, though. Shock weapon, pulse cast rifle is a level 1, costs 100 credits, does 1d6 electric damage, has a range of 50 feet, has 20 charges, 1 bulk, and it does non-lethal damage. And then the last one for long arms is a needle rifle. So if you like the needle pistol, the next upgraded version is the needle rifle. Better range, little extra damage, 12 darts instead of 6. And then we go into heavy weapons. There's an artillery laser that does 1d10 fire for $425, range of 120 feet, critical of 1d6, usage of 2 charges per shot. It has 20 charges, but it is a bulk of 3, but has penetrating, which does obviously goes through armor better. Let's see any other level ones. Reaction cannon, light, $250, 1d10 piercing, 90-foot range, 6 rounds, 1 usage per, 3 bulk, also penetrating. Light reaction cannon. That's a great name for that. And then, there's a grenade launcher. Damage is by grenade, so you have to buy the grenade separately. It holds up to 6 grenades, usage 1 per, with a bulk of 2. Literally, you just buy grenades in the grenade section and load them up that way. So, ammo is expensive AF if you get the grenade launcher. But
the reaction cannon though is pretty.
Yeah, that's not so bad. So let me jump back to it. So light reaction cannon, 250, does 1d10 piercing, has a range of 90 feet, holds 6 rounds, usage of 1, and has a bulk of 3. Also has the penetrating special.
Okay, and I'm sorry. What is the attack damage on him?
1d10.
1d10.
Yep. And it's a heavy weapon, but you have heavy weapons, so I'm not worried about it.
And it carries 6 rounds.
6 rounds. Yep.
A critical.
No critical.
Okay. All right, that was 250. You said.
Yes, it was.
I still have 400 left, and I'm all armored, all weaponed up.
Sweet. Next up is sniper rifles. We can't get any sniper rifles because the lowest level sniper rifle is level 2. Next up is grenades. There are 4 types of grenades that you guys can pick up: frag grenades, shot grenades, smoke grenades, and sticky bomb grenades. They work exactly how they sound, and their prices go from $80 to $35. Are grenades something you're interested in? Because both of you have grenade stuff.
Yeah, not right this minute.
Okay. More grenades, but you guys can't use those. And special weapons, I don't think you guys can use any of those. And bows. It's uncategorized two-handed weapons. I guess technically anyone could pick this up. But anyone interested, or shall I move on? Moving on. Alright, ammunition. So, for the small arms weapons, it is 40 per set of 30 charges. And they have a bulk of light. So basically you just spend however much you want on 30 round clips. I personally bought 90 rounds of ammunition for my pistol.
Okay. What ammo at? Do they have a or no?
Say that again, sorry.
They don't have a place for ammo, huh?
They do. There's a no, there's not a thing. You just gotta write it next to it or whatever.
So how much is it? 90 rounds?
120 for small arms. Though looking at this, heavy rounds are a level 2 item. Which means you can't even buy rounds for your gun that you bought. That seems silly. Why would they sell level 1 guns with level 2? I'm going to ignore that, and if you want to buy heavy rounds, I will let you buy heavy rounds because that's silly.
Okay, so I just want to do like 60 rounds probably.
Of the heavy?
No, for the semi-automatic pistol. How much is that?
60 rounds would be 2 clips worth, so that's 80.
Okay. All right, and then Heavy weapons. How much are they for rounds?
90 for 20.
All right, I guess I get 20.
Okay.
So that's 70, 230 for all.
Jory, you good? Did you get on ammunition? You get yourself muted.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing math a second.
Okay, math good. For specials for you guys, I think the only one that's worth mentioning is piercing. If I can find that really quick. Starts with a P. Why is it so far away? Oh, excuse me. Critical effects. Penetrating. Here it is. A penetrating weapon is designed to punt through large objects' outer layers, making it easier to damage them. A penetrating weapon ignores the amount of hardness equal to the weapon's level. So you get to ignore one hardness when you're shooting through things. You are very good at shooting trees. Okay, and that's all descriptions of things. I'm not super worried about that. Alright. Oh, sorry. We need other equipment. So, next up is armor. Yeah. Okay. So, we'll start with light armor. There's 3 sets of armor that you can get at level 1. There is Exosuit 1, which is 410. It gives you 0 to your EKC and a +1 to your KAC, which is kinetic armor class. Your max dex bonus is 5. It gives you a -1 penalty to your armor checks, but has 2 upgrade slots. The next thing is second skin, only 250. It gives you a +1 to your EAC and a +2 to your KAC, with a max bonus of 5. No armor penalties, no speed adjustments, and only 1 upgrade slot. And then last is the station wear flight suit for only 95. No EAC bonus, a +1 to KAC, and a max dex of 6. No upgrade slots though.
Can you repeat the second one?
The second one is second skin. It's cost 250. Gives you a +1 to your EAC and a +2 to your KAC. Doesn't have any penalties, no speed adjustments, but only has 1 upgrade slot. But its bulk is light.
Second
Big
skin,
old L.
+1 to AC and KAC?
Yes. EAC is energy armor class. So, like, if a weapon has something besides piercing, slashing, or bludgeoning, you use the EAC. Otherwise, you use the KAC for anything that's kinetic.
Okay, cool.
So say it again, Roger. I'm sorry, I didn't get typed in there. You're talking so fast again.
You sure you want a light armor and not a heavy armor? Because you can do heavy armors as a soldier.
I can't afford it.
Really?
I only have 230.
Yeah. Well, that means you could buy the ceremonial plate for troops. It gives you a. It only costs 110. Gives you a +1 to EAC, a +3 to KAC. Your max dex bonus though is a +2. And your armor check penalty is a -3. So that means if on your little charts, if it's got a little asterisk at the end of it, you take the -3 when you make those checks. Manages your speed by 10 feet, but has 3 upgrade slots. Does that sound good, or would you prefer to have light armor? You can always upgrade later. And you said you only had 230?
Yes.
So you can either have a flight suit or that heavy armor. Those are the 2 things you can afford that are at your level.
Okay, so what's that heavy armor again? I'm sorry.
It's 110 for the price. It gives you a +1 to your EAC, a +3 to your KAC, but it maxes your dex bonus at a +2. It gives you a -3 armor penalty. It slows you down by 10 feet, but has 3 upgrade slots, but also costs 3 bulk.
Okay, I'm not worried about that. I'm really strong. So, what is it called?
It is called Troop Ceremonial Plate.
Okay, and I get +1 to the
EAC.
EAC. Okay, EAC, and then +3
Mm-hmm.
to the KAC.
Yep. But it does max your AC bonus to a +2. So if you have higher than that, you don't get the bonus for it.
And then 3 slots.
3 upgrade slots, yep. And a bulk of 3.
Yep, okay, got that. So,
Okay.
case. On.
Worried about power armor, because you guys can't afford that.
That's 3. Oh, I just typed 3 there. Huh, so.
Okay, next
Wow.
up is your armor upgrades. You both have some of these, though there isn't that many that you guys can afford. So the first one, actually, RJ, you can't afford any of this even after buying that other armor, so you can just ignore the upgrades at this point.
Okay.
But for level 1, you got infrared sensors, which gives you dark vision. Costs 200 and takes up 1 slot. A quick release sheath, which turns lets you do a small arms or basic melee weapon as a swift action for 325. Radiation buffer gives you a plus to radiation saves. It's 200. And then the tactile reinforcement is only 150, and that just makes your armor tougher than what it would be normally. Any of that sound interesting to you, Jory?
I keep wanting to call her Jorlax.
Jorlax. I mean, that's
No,
closer
that's fine.
closer.
I have no more credits. I'm out.
Oh, she's out. Okay, well that's unfortunate. That means you guys can't buy any of the other random stuff. So no cybernetics since you guys are out of money.
I have.
You have how much?
220.
Oh, you have
No,
220.
I'm sorry, 120.
Okay, yeah. So you cannot afford. Oh, I take that back. You could have a prosthetic limb. So if you want your character to start off hobblefoot, you could do that. Next up is. Not worried about that. It's computer stuff. We're not worried about that. Not worried about security models, tech items. Nothing that we can afford. Let's see. So comms unit is only 7 credits, and it's a personal comms unit, unit to unit kind of thing. It allows people to call you. It doesn't really let you call out to other people unless that they're quote unquoting your friends group. It's like a walkie-talkie basically.
Okay.
You don't need locks. There's a medical gear med patch and a basic med kit. The basic med kit is 100. The med patch is 50. Basically acts like a healing potion.
So med pack.
If you want a med pack, sure. Takes up 2
You
of your
said
hands. Has a bulk of 1. Let me read off it really quick. Basic med kit has antiseptic, bandages, handheld instruments, blah blah blah. The basic med kit allows an attempt of a DC 25 medicine checks to treat deadly wounds. Important for people that are going to be fighting a lot, because you don't necessarily have to be the one that uses it, even though you have it on you.
Yeah.
You get goofed up. You say, "Take this, fix me, please," to someone who knows medicine. But that might be you. Who knows? All right. Let's see. There's also toolkits. Those are 20 apiece. You can buy a fire extinguisher. You can buy a flashlight, lantern, or spotlight, or a beacon. Though I wouldn't do the beacon because that's silly. You can get binders, not mandacles. That's about it for other items that are not drugs, because you can't afford any of the magic items because they are super expensive for no good reason.
It's not like I can afford the drugs either.
True. Yeah, and you guys can't afford any of the hybrid items except for a Starstone compass, which is 3 whole credits and tells you what direction the Starstone is, which is basically the center of the galaxy. That's not true. It's not the center of the galaxy, but it's for life in the where we play in. It's the center of the galaxy. Okay, that's it for equipment. Dun dun dun. Now
We
we
figure out our attack bonus.
So we are doing that right now. So this is the final step, the finishing details. So first thing on this is your alignment. It's just like D&D alignment. Chaotic, good, neutral, evil, all that fun stuff. That should be at the top of your character sheet. You guys get to pick that. As a DM, I'm not forcing any specific things. So you don't have to be a good person if you don't want to be. And just as a side note, for as changing alignment in the future, you guys get to change it whenever, or I will tell you that it changed because you continuously do bad things. Punishment is you're now evilly aligned, which will affect some of the stuff if you interact with gods and things like that. But because neither of you are priests, scholars, things like that, don't worry about it. It's fine. Just do you.
So, my class is soldier, right?
Yes, your class is soldier. Yeah. What'd you pick for theme again? You picked Starfinder or whatever, or Star Explorer, Spacefarer.
Spacefarer, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. I'm looking. Oh, here's alignment.
So, just as a note for your race, they are very traditional for the most part, so you're probably going to be on the lawful side of things.
I guess I LG, huh? Because that's going to be lawful good.
Okay. Yeah. Jory, that's on you. Elves are generally chaotic.
Well, I'm a rock star. I'm chaotic neutral.
There you go. That's the way to do it. All right. Next up is your guys' armor class. So your EAC and your KAC. The math is pretty simple on your character sheets. Unless you get something special that gives you a bonus mod, it's just going to be your Dex modifier plus whatever your armor bonus was.
Cool. That was easy.
Yep. And then underneath that is the AC versus combat maneuvers. Is 8 plus your KAC. None of us should have damage resistance or resistances, so don't worry about that.
15 is 23, I think.
Next up, excuse me, sorry, someone sent me an invite. Why would he invite me to party? Just join my thing, you weirdo. Okay, I'll text him.
Oh, I took all my everything out here. Gosh dang it.
Don't do that, it's bad. Next up is your attack bonuses. Again, that's the fourth box down. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory, the math there. So you got your base attack bonus plus your strength mod, your dex mod, and your strength mod again, and then any miscellaneous bonuses you get for stuff, which honestly shouldn't be much of anything at this point. If your stuff is higher than, a 5, you're doing real good to start.
Guns are what attack bonus do they use? Is it dex or
It's their ranged attack, so they use their dex mod. Yes.
or it's just a straight 1d4, no plus anything?
For what? Sorry.
Then the small little needle gun.
So the needle gun uses your dex bonus still, just like anything else.
So it's a 1d4 plus dex,
Yes.
and then the fire one is just a straight 1d4
Hello!
plus fire.
What's going on, guys?
Welcome, Cell. How it be?
Good.
Well, we're finishing up these. We're finishing up these guys. We can restart the process with you, and they can help me do it really fast. So, first things first is you're going to need to download and or print out a character sheet.
Okay.
I sent it to you over Discord, I believe.
Can you email it?
It's on Discord.
Can you email it to me? I don't know how to get it off Discord.
You just click it. Just click it. Go to messages, you bum.
So for the fire gun, it's just a 1d4 fire damage.
Yep, 1d4 fire, and then it has the 1d4 burn if you get a critical.
And range on that one is on the both guns.
30, I think, on both of them. Let me check. I'll run back to it real quick. It'll get there eventually, I swear.
Oh, that's super cool.
Small arms, where are you? There. Alright, so the laser pistol has a range of 80 feet. My bad. It's got way better range than most of the other stuff.
So the one that does fire is 80 feet, but the needle one is 30.
Yes.
That's a wonky range, but okay.
Let's see. We did your attack bonuses, right?
Yep.
Carrying capacity. This is how much bulk your character can carry based on their strength score. It's really, you just take the actual number, not the modifier, and that's your carrying capacity. Half of it is your encumbrance, and then anything over it is the over encumbered or overburdened.
So my carrying capacity is 12?
That sounds right.
Say it again, Raj.
So it's your strength, just your strength score.
So that's in the encumbered or unencumbered?
So that is the unencumbered. Your encumbered is half of whatever that number is, and then the over encumbered is over the number. Actually, so I should rewrite that. So unencumbered is 6, over encumbered is 7, and then this is for me, not for you guys. And then over encumbered is 15.
It's not letting me change that. Oh, John.
Gotta say.
It's okay. I'm just keeping track of this. I'll just write it in notes underneath it.
Okay. Riley, did you find it?
No, I got to pull it up my phone. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, where do I find it at?
I sent it to you in your messages. You could also just look up on your phone, do Starfinder character sheet, and it's the free download one from Piezo.
I have it looks like a map. The only thing I have from you.
You are 100% correct. I could have sworn I sent it to you.
Fucking up, Roger.
I'm sorry. Thought Okay, so I also thought I sent it to RJ, but it didn't send to RJ either. So I don't know what I did wrong, but I did something wrong.
Well, I'm glad I'm going to use a paper sheet anyway. This thing is crappy. Oh, my God.
Ah, okay, that didn't even do the link. I'm so mad. Ignore that.
I want to save to email. How do I do that?
Safety. I have no idea.
Wait, what's today? Where's the fucking clipboard at?
It is the first.
I have to figure this out. Shit. Phone. Curse you to hell.
Hey, you want me to just send it to your email?
That would be like a lot easier, bro. That way I can print it out at work tomorrow.
Okay. And then what's your email?
Riley, Riley, because I know you can't ever fucking spell my name. Dot 1993 0 at gmail.com. You want to confirm that with me there, buddy?
I will. Give me a second. So it's RILEY dot 19930 at gmail.com.
Nailed it.
Boom. And again, you can always just look it up. It's a free sheet on Piezo.
I can't really look it up at work, you know.
It's true.
Confidential information, possible hacking. Man, it's fucking stupid if you ask my opinion.
Okay, whatever.
But I can't email it to myself for some mystical reason.
That's magic. So yeah, for tonight, you're just gonna write stuff down and fill stuff out later. It'll make life easier on a sheet of
Fuck,
paper.
I have to write stuff down?
Yeah, you goose. Go get a
I
pencil.
didn't do it. I am totally ill prepared for this meeting of the minds, bro.
I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna come to where you're at and just beat you up. How's that sound? All right. Do you at least have D6s to roll? That's the only dice you should need tonight for building this
Yeah,
character.
hold on. Bro, I got some decent.
Okay, so for building your character, do you want to do an array or do you want to roll for your stats?
I want to roll for my stats, bro. Live a little. If you don't roll for your stats, you don't bro.
Tell that to RJ. All right, so roll 4 dice. Take the highest 3. Do that 7 times and pick the highest 6. And just
Fuck it. You got pen and paper, right, Roger?
No, sir. Well, yes, but I
You don't have
my stuff on.
I don't even have pen and paper, bro.
I can write it down.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Bro, save the day again, as usual.
You could always just text it.
Start singing numbers.
Yelled at. Someone wasn't happy with their test results. Not my fault.
I'm so sorry.
Roger, I can't find open and volley as a feat. Where the hell is it?
It's in there. So the feats are in alphabetical order.
Hey, Roger. I have to roll 2d6s multiple times.
That's highly unfortunate. Keep track of your numbers.
Fuck. Let me see if I can find a fucking pen. I should have a pen right here somewhere. Right in the back of an envelope. Like a paper filter.
So it is on page 160.
Oh, why? I'm on page 153 for feats. Oh, that was the list where it was a complete list. Okay, here we go.
Success! I have the back of a giant envelope and 2d60s.
You can do this,
7
I
rows.
believe you. Yeah, so you'll need 7 sets of numbers. So you get, again, roll 46, take the highest 3 numbers, add them together. That's your number. Do that 7 times.
Okay,
Now,
so.
while you're doing rolling, I'm going to finish up what they're doing so they can do other
Alright.
stuff. And I'll come back to you in a second. Alright, so you got carrying capacity. Next up is your deity. If you want any, you don't necessarily have to have one, but having religious nature is pretty common for most classes. Would you guys like me to go over deities with you really quick?
Was there any deity specific for my race?
They're more of
What's your
alignment based than race based, because the gods are a known entity. It's not like a surprise. They kind of transcend races and are more of just what they represent.
Is there one of like music or?
Look,
Woohoo! 260. Finally. And then 2 1s.
oof. It's still 13 though. It's not terrible.
Is there a deity of music?
I'm looking. There's one of friendship and peace.
No.
I'm not seeing music, but there might be entertainment. Give me a second.
Roger, how is that friendship and peace music, bro? We must listen to different types of music.
Shh, shh, shh. Um. No, actually, there's nothing that's like celebrity stuff, which is kind of weird. There is one that does celestial bodies, the cosmos, and mysteries of the universe, which I don't know what you sing about, but what's your theme as a rock star? I might be able to find something that fits your theme.
Theme? Well, it's icon.
No, sorry. I meant like your music that you sing. What kind of music does your rock star do? Are you rocking
I'm
out?
a rock star. Rock.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, but there's so many choices on that. What is something you like to sing about?
You know. You're gonna give me
I
a
mean,
couple days to think about that one.
Dreams, luck, stars, and travels.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
More like edgy shit. Like I
Okay.
dress gothic and kind of bullshit like that.
Okay. Gotcha. So literally, there's darkness, envy, loss, and pain.
That works.
Conquest, duty, war. Okay, so that is Zon Cuthron, which is a lawful evil deity.
But I'm chaotic neutral.
Okay, so yeah, chaotic at least. Let me find him on the list here.
Alright, Roger, while you're doing that, mute myself. I'm gonna be here, but I'm gonna be eating.
Okay, you do that. All right.
I'm done though. What I tell you guys.
Okay, so yeah, I gotta talk to you through the next part. So just give me a couple minutes to finish up with them. All right. So Zon Cuthron, the Midnight Lord, chaotic evil. Sorry, not chaotic evil. Lawful evil, god of darkness, envy, loss, and pain. Not from any of your planets. Symbol: a skull with a spike chains through its eye sockets. I would read all the
Cool.
stuff about him, but it's like a half a page, and that's a lot.
Oh, you could just send me the name and I'll look at him.
I'll spell it for you really quick.
Okay.
ZON dash K U.
H.
No, ZON dash
Okay.
KUTHON.
All right, I'll look up him later.
Okay. And again, if you need to change that off screen, totally fine. RJ, do you have a deity that you want, or are you gonna just pick that in your free time?
I'm trying to find him here. Back to part of the book here.
So honorable battle, humanity, justice, valor, lawful good god of, I want to say lemonade, but it's like lawmade. Also, while you guys are doing your deity, you might as well work on your description. And that's super simple. That is just picking out, hey, what do I look like? Couple sentences, key qualities. For example, part of my description is my height. I'm bearded humanoid, black hair. That's really it. Medium build. All right. So I'm gonna jump over to Riley while you guys are doing that and writing your descriptions. When you guys are ready, just wave at me or say you're ready, and we'll go back to you guys. So, you ready?
Roger, can I find these books online?
No, you cannot.
Like to buy, to purchase.
Oh yeah, you can definitely purchase them online or at a local game store.
Hold on. Hey Russ, what is that you're using, bud?
Is
This
is the
this
book?
this is a
No.
core
No, the thing in your other hand.
It's
What's that?
spyglass because this is
Oh.
small print.
It's really small print. It's really
When did that?
jokes aside. I also have this book and it is tiny.
No, I'm gonna go buy it then.
Yeah, it's only like it's only like $20. It's great.
It's called the pocket size rule book, so it's tiny print, but it's only $20. The full size one's $43.
You sure it's just tiny, or I can read that just fine. Languages.
Okay,
Something
so
about languages.
Riley, I'm gonna go over stuff with you really quick.
Yeah.
Again, if we gotta do this later when you have extra stuff. But the races that they are doing, so they have the classical races, right? So they're gnomes, elves, dwarves. Those are the quote-unquote classics. Half orcs, half elves. But then the ones that are specifically meant for Starfinder are androids, humans, kashasas, las hutas, Shirens, Vesk, and Yoskis. And I'm going to explain what those are really quick because I'm sure that means literally nothing to you. But
What's a kashata?
so they are four-armed race from distant desert worlds with highly traditional culture. RJ is playing one at the moment, but you can also don't worry about mixing. But yeah. The Losh Hutas are charismatic and telepathic race of scholars with two subspecies, one tall and lean, the other one short and muscular. The Siren are an insectile race that have kind of a hive mind mentality, but are actual individualized creatures. They make their own decisions, and they like to do that. They don't like to be part of a hive, but they can act like one. Vesk are warlike reptilians that have recently declared a truce with all the others, for now. And then the Yoski, also called rat folks, are short, furry scavengers that make up with their short size with their personalities. Basically, the wannabe halflings. Oh yeah, classic race halflings are also included.
I fucking love halflings, bro.
Then you probably
They're
like the
so much
Yoski.
fun. Let's do it.
Okay, you're gonna be a
The
rat
rat
person.
guy?
Rat person. Yep. So it's spelled Ysoki.
All right.
Okay. So, anyway, sorry, what was that? The bonuses that you get as a Yoski, right, are a +2 to Dex, a +2 to Intelligence, a -2 to Strength, and a base HP of 2.
-2 to strength.
Yep. And 2 HP. You'll get more HP with your class, so don't worry.
All right.
And then they come with some special abilities. There's 4 special abilities. For your size and type, you are a small humanoid. So, whatever it says size on your character sheet, you're small.
When I print it out.
Yeah. Cheek pouches. Yoski can store up to 1 cubic foot of items that weigh up to 1 bulk in total in their cheeks. They can transfer a single object between hand and cheeks as a swift action. A Yoski can dislodge an entire contents of his pouch onto the ground in a square as a move action that does not provoke opportunity attacks. Grenade in the mouth.
Ooh.
pistol in the mouth, knife in the mouth, 7 knives in the mouth.
Should walk around with like a handful of grenades in there. Be like, yeah, fuck around and find out, dude.
Don't, whatever you do, don't punch him in the face. He'll explode.
Weren't you saying these guys are really good persuasion? Their talking game's really good.
Maybe.
It's gonna walk around with grenades.
You get dark vision, up to 60 feet. No light vision, but dark vision is better, so it's whatever. RJ lost his phone. It's gone. Next up is called Moxie. Yosuke are scrappy and nimble. Even when the odds are against them, they can stand from prone as a swift action. Additionally, when off kilter, which is a condition, a Yosuke does not take normal penalties to attack or gain the flat-footed condition. When attempting acrobatics check to tumble through the space of an opponent at least one size larger than themselves, the Yosuke gets a +5 racial bonus to the check. So basically, you can run through enemy squares with a +5 to not get hit.
Right.
And then last but not least, you get a thing called Scrounger, which gives you a +2 racial bonus to engineering, stealth, and survival. Wow, that's really nice, actually. Which will make sense for your skills later. Alright, next up is you get to choose a theme, which is kind of like a background, but not really. They do have some effect on your stuff as you go along, and kind of just determine what kind of in-game character you are. Not in-game, I should say, but whatnot. So, as of now, we have Ace Pilot, Bounty Hunter, Icon, Mercenary, Outlaw, Priest, Scholar, Spacefarer, Xenoseeker, and Themeless. There's also a couple others, but I want to keep to these just to make life easy.
Do we have a priest?
We do not have a priest currently. Yeah,
Might need a priest, though. You never know.
So currently, we have an Outlaw, an Icon, and a Spacefarer.
How many gods are in this world? In this whole.
So a whole bunch. I mean, deities can be super important if that's what you want to be.
Do we know what planet we're starting on, or do we know what our starting point is?
I do as DM, but you guys will not. It's going to be a complete surprise when you wake up.
So we're basically waking up with amnesia.
No.
Do we know each other?
No. But you will get to know each other very fast.
All right. I'll probably do priest then.
Okay. So priest gives you a +1 to your wisdom. Also, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 upgrades as you level up. You get one to start called Theme Knowledge. You get to reduce the DC of culture and mysticism checks to recall knowledge about religious traditions, religious symbol, basically anything to do with religion by 5.
+5 to religion.
Huh?
+5 to religion, basically.
Basically, yeah. Well, it actually reduces the DC, which is slightly different than adding +5 to your score.
So -5 to religion?
Yeah, -5 DC. And mythicism, I said it right, mythicism, becomes a class skill for you. Though if you get the skill from the class that you pick later, you get a +1 bonus instead. That's pretty standard for all of them.
I'm going to have to buy this book tomorrow.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice book for $20. I was super impressed.
Does it come with the character sheet?
It does not come with starter character sheets. Actually, I take that back. I guess there's character sheets in the back. Technically, yeah, it totally has character sheets in the back.
Cool.
Yeah, RJ, I forgot. Since you had the book, you could literally just write it down in the back if you wanted to. It's too late now, but you could have. I didn't. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Well, I also have this thing, remember?
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I wanted to scan it and print it out and use these again and again and again. I don't use them all for the same one.
That's pretty nifty right there, dude.
Yeah, but it's... Yeah, that's half the price of the book for one character.
Bro, don't judge me right now. I'm making okay money and I'm a fucking nerd. So
fair.
I bought it. What's that say about me?
That you're making okay money and you're a nerd.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, two jobs. I'm making enough money.
Fuck. No, never mind. Want to come to California?
No.
been there, done that. F that noise. Okay.
Like taxes, baby.
Next up is choosing your class. So the classes are Envoy, Envoy, whatever, Mechanic, Mystic, Operative, Solarian, Soldier, and Techromancer. So, to break that down so it makes sense, Envoy is basically a bard. Is the easiest way to think about it. The Mechanic builds stuff, tinkers with things. It's a mechanic. They do mechanic stuff. Mystic is your magic users that are like traditional magic users who use arcane powers and things like that. Solarians are disciplined warriors whose mastery of the stars grants them either a weapon or armor made of stellar power. Basically, you can summon a weapon or armor at will. It's pretty cool. Soldiers, which are the equivalent of fighters. And then Techromancers are magic users who use magic and weapons kind of in combination and kind of fuse the two together, but are more on the tech side than the magic side.
Okay.
And those are the classes. So basically, you have two magic types. Oh, sorry, an operative. I somehow skipped over that one, which are stealthy combatants with a wide-ranging know-how, who's adept at taking advantage of unprepared foes. That is my character class. He's an operative.
So basically a rogue.
Basically a rogue.
I really don't feel like playing a fucking rogue my first playthrough of a game. That didn't go well the first time. We died a lot. I died a lot.
Well, I will say that the variety between stuff is actually pretty nice for most of these classes. So there's only 6 or 7 of them, but depending on what stuff you pick.
I remember correctly, traditional magic users are probably a lot of work, especially if this is anything like 3-5. Is there spells per day? How does the magic system work?
Kinda. Oh god. Magic is its whole section of like 200 pages of explaining how it works. But that also includes spells. But easy peasy, yeah, it's got spells per day, and as you level stuff up, depending on what mysticism you pick, the spells get stronger, and you can kind of cast them like you did in 3.5, where it's like you could cast a first level spell of something, or you can cast it at 7th level when you have a 7th level knowledge.
What does the bard get?
So they get stuff that like buffs characters. It's all about the character buffing of some sort. Jory's Rockstar character is going to be the Envoy icon.
Oh, I kind of like that. Then I'm gonna go fucking straight up fucking smash and clash fighter.
You sure you don't want
Make
to
it simple?
You sure you don't want to do Solarian, because they don't have that much magic, just a little bit.
We'll do Solarian then.
Good, I talked someone into it. It's gonna be great. Okay. So
my cat is fucking having a problem right now, though, bro.
Why? What'd you do to it?
I don't know, bro. He's weird. That's all it is to it. He reminds me of you.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That makes me feel good. Okay, so Solarian.
Okay.
Spell
it.
So Solarian, like someone from the sun.
Solarian.
Yep.
All right, cool.
So this gets you a plus. Your stamina points are 7 plus your Constitution modifier, and you get a +7 to your health to start. So for you, you'll have a whopping 9.
Okay.
Your key ability score is your Charisma, followed by a high strength would probably make your stuff good, which is unfortunate because you are small, but it'll make your character interesting.
I'm gonna put my 17 in strength.
Yeah, because you get that -2, so it turns it into a 15.
Turns into a 15 with all the blessings and start carrying things that make my fist heavier.
Yes, I like it. Your class skills is you get a +4 plus your intelligence modifier.
+4. Hold on, +4 to intent. Okay.
No. So this is called skill ranks per level. You get 4 plus your int mod.
Fuck. I'm gonna have to buy this fucking book. All right. Yeah.
It makes more sense when you're looking at the character sheet. I'd read off the stuff but you can't write it down. So we're gonna skip over that. Your proficiencies that you get for this class is light armor, basic and advanced melee weapons, and small arms.
Cool. Grenades.
Grenades do not count as that. They're their own special category. Not saying you can't use it, but okay. So things that you get: your basic attack bonus is a +1. Your fortitude save bonus is a +2. Your reflex save bonus is a +0. And your will save bonus is a +2. You get 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. You get 4 things for your features at first level.
So I'm really liking just like the way you're reading off how this like character sheet looks in my head. I'm really liking the way this thing looks, bro. The way the character sheet looks. Oh, look at that. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty nice. It's a nice character sheet. Okay. So, your first thing is you get Skill Adept. As part of the process that led you to become a Solarian, you are gained additional insight and training. Choose 2 additional skills and add them to your list of spell classes. So, again, once you get your spell classes, you'll get to add 2 more. After that is your Solar Manifestation, which you get to pick 2. Let me read this off really quick. So you get a thing called a Stellar Mote that floats above your head. Basically, it's a halo, and it can transform into 1 or 2 things, a solar armor or solar weapons. You must pick 1 solar manifestation, either armor or weapons, upon taking your first level of Solarian. You can also choose whether your solar manifestation, in any form, glows brightly, with 1 color common to the stars, including blue, red, white, or yellow, or is perfect darkness of a black hole. Glowing, blah, 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 blah. If it glows, it gives you 20 feet of light. And you can shut off the
Do
light.
I have to put it above my head? Does it have to be above my head, or can I have it like float around my wrist?
It can float around your wrist. That's fine.
Okay. I don't like the idea of some bright, glowing green object floating around my head. It's kind of like a target. Like, hey, they're over here.
You can also turn the light off. It says so in the instructions.
Oh. Okay.
So it doesn't have to be bright, but it can be bright if you want it.
Imagine that though. Trying to sneak into a place and they're like, "Hey, I see him."
Bing! He's over here. Okay.
I wanted to glow purple too.
I don't think that's a standard color, but whatever.
Neon purple, bro. We're going far.
Just as a note with this, only you can interact with your solar manifestation, whether in mote, armor, or weapon form. No other creature or effect can affect your solar manifestation in any way, including disarming or sundering it. So it can't be broken, and no one can just take it from you. So you get.
Can it be exiled?
Can it what?
Can it be exiled?
Like it turns into the mote. The mote is the condensed small light form.
All right.
So, do you want solar armor or a solar weapon?
Are we gonna have money to start out, or are we starting out naked?
You will start with 1,000 credits worth of spending money, which is something we will get to in a minute.
Okay.
Actually, plan for a second. I'm going to jump to the other guys really quick and get them on their next step. While you make your decision between the 2.
Okay.
Okay. RJ Jory. Hello.
Good.
Okay. Your next step for you guys is your home world. Which is basically you guys get to pick it from the core worlds, or you get to make up a planet. That's on you. Would you like?
Acton. That's what the book said. That's where my people are from.
Okay.
Either that, or I'd have to float around on a spaceship in orbit because they didn't want to land.
Okay, that works. Jory, as a elf, you're probably from Absalom Station, which is kind of like the center of the universe kind of thing for this pack worlds. It's Absalom Station. Basically, it floats around where Earth was, except for it wasn't called Earth, it's called Gaboria or something.
Hey, Roger, can you text me a list of books that would be good to have?
So I would say the only thing that you need to get is the core rulebook.
Core rulebook?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to have the other stuff. And sort of like monster manuals and all that other fun stuff.
They're called Alien Archives. There's 3 of them out currently. There's like 7 or 8 books that are out, and I don't know if you need them or not.
Okay.
I'm still reading through the Alien Archives to find good stuff. I have the ones for your guys' first adventure, but I think a lot of it is going to be finding a good app to roll up encounters and be like, alright, we're learning about whatever this is right now.
Random encounter! Random encounter!
You fight 7 space squids. They all have 20,000 HP. Good luck. They only do a 10th of damage per turn, but it doesn't miss.
Fuck that. I run, I flee.
Alright, so, home planets. You guys already got that, which means your next thing, for the 2 of you, is, sorry, jumped over it. Your initiative, right? Your initiative is spelled out on your sheet, unless you have some kind of bonus. It's just your dex modifier. After that is languages. Your character begins speaking common, for sure. Any racial tongues, if you have something special. I do not believe either of you have special racial... Actually, I take that back. RJ's character should have something special. And then one from their planet. Again, if you're from a different planet than your race, an extra language. Other than that, you get to learn 1 language for every positive modifier for your intelligence modifier. So, up to 5 if you have a 20 in there for somehow magically.
So I got 3 intelligence modifiers. So I got to get 3 more languages.
3 more languages besides your racial stuff. RJ, since you had the book, I would just suggest looking that up. Jory, you already saw the other races and whatnot. I would just pick 1 or 2. I don't know what your intelligence modifier is.
+4.
Oh, so you get 4. Yeah, I would just pick 4 of the other main races to learn their language and call it good.
I will look into that.
Okay. But, just as a side note, they still have Abyssal, Aquan, Aryan, Celestial, Draconic, Elven Dwarf.
My character know Elvish due to being an elf.
Yep, and then you get 1 free bonus language from being from Absalom, because it's a mixing pot kind of thing.
Can you spell the name of that world?
Sure, it's Absalom Station. Give me 10 seconds to get back to that page. So it's ABSALOM Station.
Okay. So I get 4 other languages and another bonus language?
Yeah, so you get 5 languages plus Elven. Wait,
Cool.
yeah, because you have intelligence of 4, so yeah. Next up is your resolve points. Your character's resolve points for many important purposes, including replenishing stamina points, empowering some class features and other abilities. At first level, your character has a number of resolve points equal to 1 plus the ability score modifier that is their key class ability score. So, RJ, for you, that's strength. For the envoy, I believe, is charisma.
5 resolve points. What is resolve points used for?
So that's what lets you replace your stamina points, and basically everything else. Some of the abilities use resolve points or won't be activated unless you have resolve points. If you are dying, You have to deal with resolve points. Again, I'll try and explain it once we get through Riley's character really quick. Because that started the just setting up the setting for you guys. Next up is saving throws. Again, you guys can do the math on that. It's super simple. You guys already figured out your size. Your speed is 30 feet unless you have something that says differently. And then Starship, which you guys don't have to worry about. Okay. Jumping back to Mr. Wilson. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so your next step is finalizing your ability scores. They're the same as D&D: Strength, Dex, Constitution, Intelligence, all that fun stuff. As you heard, your high level one should be Charisma. And then, Strength or Dex is probably a good choice for your second one.
Strength, Dex, Wisdom,
Constitution.
Con.
Intelligence affects your skills, so if you want to be a skill monkey, put high intelligence.
I'm missing one, bro. Strength, Dex, Wisdom. We're just reading from the top, buddy.
So it's Strength, Dex, Constitution, Intelligence, Wisdom, Charisma.
That's what it is.
Constitution is going to be important for you, as you get 7 plus your Charisma bonus as your stamina points. And again, I will go over stamina points versus HP after we get through the character stuff.
+6 and +6. Wait, it's in which one was I? I was the Solarian, right? Solarian class.
Yep.
And my what was my other one?
Your theme?
Yeah, my theme.
Priest.
All right. Okay.
Interesting. And then, so have you decided between armor or weapon?
Armor.
Okay, so it can be made out of glowing light or solid darkness, is determined by appearance of your solar manifestation. So basically, it matches it. It can take whatever general shape you choose. Form-fitting, whatever, blah blah blah. Once you Okay, once you've selected a general design, you cannot change what it looks like until you get a new level. Your armor grants you a +1 enhancement bonus to both your KAC and your EAC. So your kinetic armor class and your energy armor class. This bonus increases to +2 at 10th level. It is compatible, with light armor, but gives you no benefits if you are wearing heavy armor or powered armor. So basically, you can wear light armor as well and it gets bonuses, but if you are wearing heavy armor, it does nothing.
You said I get +2 to Charisma, right?
Yes, I think. Look. Yeah, because you got a -2 to Strength.
Friday, what's your race?
Solarian, right?
No, that's your class.
Yoski.
Yeah.
Yoski, yeah.
Rat man.
What is it?
+2 Dex, +2 Int, -2 Strength. So,
I'm sorry, you got. What's his race?
A Yoski. YSOKI. It's the rat people.
Gotcha.
But your modifiers are +2 Dex, +2 Int, -2 Strength. So it doesn't have anything to do with Charisma.
And I got some really crappy ass numbers, bro. That's all I know.
What were your numbers?
10, 12, 17, 13, 8, and 13.
Did you drop one of them? Because you're supposed to roll 7 times.
Yeah, I rolled 7 times. I dropped the other one. The other one was worse, bro.
Was it all ones? Like, what happened?
No, so it was. I think it was an 8-2.
Oh, okay.
I have, yeah. So I had two eights.
Yeah, you're just a small character. Happens sometimes. Okay.
God's like, ah, stupid.
You're a priest, man. You're supposed to be super overpowered. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm not worried about fifth. At fifth level, you get stuff with this armor. So just remember that as you're leveling up. Next up is your stellar mode, right? Which is the other form it can take. You are either attuned to photons, representing the power of the star to emit heat, light, or plasma, or gravitons, representing the attraction, heavy objects, all that fun stuff. When in battle, you enter a state of metaphysical alignment with the cosmic force at the start of your turn. In combat, if you are conscious, you must choose one of three stellar modes, which I will read off in a bit. At the start of each subsequent turn of Harm Tech, you must choose to either stay in your current mode or to become unattuned. If you choose to stay in your mode, you gain another, or choose another attunement. Whatever. As long as you have one or two attunement points in this mode, you are attuned to that mode. Once you reach third attunement point in a mode, you become fully attuned to that mode. Some of the stellar revelations are zenith revelations, blah 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 blah. At the end of combat, your stellar mode ends. If you fall unconscious during an encounter, you become unattuned. If you regain consciousness while still under threat, you can enter stellar mode on your first turn after regaining consciousness. Yada 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 yada. So, the modes as of now, which is something you get to switch between at will, right? So you have Gravitron mode. When you enter this mode, you get a +1 Gravitron attunement and become Gravitron Tomb. Some of your stellar revelations are yeah, whatever. Okay. This bonus increases by 1 for every 9 levels you have. Photon mode. When you enter this mode, you get whatever. You get the +1 thing. The bonus increases 1 for every 6 levels you have. When Photon attuned, you gain a +1 insight bonus to damage rolls. That's fancy. When gravity attuned, you gain a +1 insight to reflex saves. And then when you're unattuned, you have no attunement whatsoever, and or you can switch to the other one. And last but not least is stellar revelations. At first level, you automatically learn the black hole and supernova stellar revelations. At second level, and every 2 levels afterwards, you learn an additional one. So the first 2 that you get right off the bat is black hole. When you are fully attuned in the Gravitron attune mode, as a standard action, you can pull any number of creatures within 20 feet of you closer. You choose which creatures are effective and which ones aren't. Each creature must succeed a Fortitude saving throw or be pulled 10 feet towards you. The range of this revelation and distance pulled increases by 5 feet at 5th level and every 4 levels afterwards. Solid objects do not block this ability. Any creature that runs into a solid object ceases moving closer to you. Creatures moved by this ability do not provoke opportunity attacks from the movement. After you use this revelation, you immediately become unattuned. The black hole functions and whatever. Supernova. When you are fully photon attuned, you gain as a standard action. You can deal 1d6 fire plus an additional 1d6 fire per level to all creatures within 10 feet of you. The creature that succeeds at a reflex save only takes half damage. At 9th, you increase the radius to 15, and 17th, it increases to 20. After you use this, you immediately become unattuned. So that's how that works. And then as you level up, you get to pick one from the appropriate levels. So that's fun. We'll do that. The book is going to be important for you because you have to read through stuff. Okay. Next, assigning ranks and choosing feats. So, again, until you get a character sheet, that's not going to make much sense. So we're going to skip slightly and go to feats. You ready to write down a feat? You get 1 free feat.
I think you should build the characters with these guys, and then when I get that player's handbook, we'll go and sit down with their mind.
Okay. I see how it is. Okay.
Because right now I have a bunch of scribbles, but I got my scores assigned.
Okay. Well, that's better than nothing. We can live with that. What you can do is pick your alignments. You can describe your character. You can pick a homeworld. Again, the Yoski. Did I have a home world? They might actually have a home world. Let me look.
Can I have a home ship?
You could.
Like
There is a flying ship in space that you could be from.
that?
Is
Yeah, I'll be from that. That idea.
okay, so that is, if I can find it, is called Idaria. Idari.
Idari.
Yep. Floating ship in space. Which is funny because the creatures that live there probably actually wouldn't let you. That actually means you guys and I know each other, RJ and Mouse Person.
Why do you say that?
Because the Kalatas, the four-armed people, that's their ship.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty big fucking ship, I'm assuming, if it's traveling around space,
No,
right?
I could be lying. I'm thinking of that.
Maybe I don't want to know Rose. Maybe I've known Rose for a long enough time.
No. They made a huge slower than light speed ship to transport themselves from their original colony world. And when they got there, by the time it took to get there, everybody's technology was so great that when they got there, they couldn't invade because they got their asses kicked. So some people migrate. Some people migrate peacefully, and then stayed on the ship floating around in orbit.
Hey, no wonder they're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna just a recent truce."
Basically. Okay, so while I have all of you, we're going to go over just some stuff that you guys need to know about this thing while we still have some time. So we have been going for almost 3 hours, so we got about an hour left before we wrap up. So again, since we are missing our other Grandmaster and missing our third player, we probably will not play tonight. But I can at least explain some more stuff to you guys and answer any questions that you guys have about the world around you. So, hit points and stamina points, right? What's the difference? Hit points measure how robust and healthy you are. A reduction in hit points represents physical wounds like illnesses or other serious impairments, getting your arms cut off, taking actual physical damage, whereas stamina points, or SP, measure your readiness and energy, and they replenish more quickly and easily. When you take damage, whether from attack, spell, or disease, or some other source, it reduces your stamina point pool first. Any damage beyond your remaining stamina points comes out of your hit points. Think of stamina points like your ability to shake off a punch. The first one may not do any lasting damage, but eventually you get worn down and start hurting. If your hit points ever drop to 0, you are dying and must become stable, or you might die for good. You replenish your stamina points by spending 1 resolve point, and taking 10 uninterrupted minutes to rest and catch your breath. Up to once a day, you can regenerate some hit points and all of your stamina points after a full 8 hours of uninterrupted rest. Not to include some spells or abilities that give you your stuff back. You can also regain them through the use of magic or technology. Sources of magic and technological healing state in their description whether they restore hit points or stamina points. Usually healing can restore hit points you've lost, but cannot raise your total capacity. Though certain types of magic may temporarily ignore this restriction, which, as you guys all know, are temporary hit points. Resolve points. As a hero in Starfinder, you have a resolve, an intrinsic reservoir of grit and/or luck tied to your talents, often enhanced by your class. Your pool of resolve points, or RP, allows you to carry on when everything seems lost. Suspending and regaining resolve points. Resolve points can be spent in a number of ways, and many classes let you spend them to activate class features and regain resources. Some abilities don't require you to spend points, but rather have them. For instance, an envoy with at least 1 resolve point remaining in her pool can use her expertise class feature to roll extra die on sense motive checks without spending the point. Your resolve points can never drop below 0. Your resolve points can never drop below 0, right? Dying causes you to lose resolve points. If you would lose resolve points due to dying and don't have any remaining, you're dead. So basically, every time you hit 0, you hit the dying condition. And you lose 1 resolve point. If you have 0 and you get killed again, you're dead. No comebacksies. Game over. General uses for this is regaining stamina. You can spend one resolve
Yeah, I
point.
do. I will cast Revivify.
Yeah, that's a thing, but not really. Um, regaining hit points is one resolve point. It gets you all your stuff. It takes a 10-minute rest. Stabilizing, if you're dying and would have enough resolve points, you can spend a number of resolve points equal to 1/4 your maximum, or a minimum of 1 RP or a maximum of 3, on your turn to immediately stabilize. This means you're no longer dying, but remain unconscious. If you don't have enough resolve points to stabilize when you are dying, you lose a resolve point as per the dying. Oh, excuse me, sorry. If you are stable and have enough resolve points, or if you are knocked unconscious from a non-lethal damage, you can spend one resolve point and start at the start of your turn and heal 1 hit point. You are no longer dying, and immediately become conscious. You can make your turn as normal, and you can spend resolve points to regain hit points only if you're at 0 hit points. There's no such thing as negative hit points. We lost Duggar House. He disappeared. You just go to 0. And he's back. Hello.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. Let's see. So, leveling up. As you guys level up, there's a couple things that you will need to know about and whatnot. Just so you guys know, the amount of experience points to level up between each level is considerably higher than D&D stuff. So, like, going from first to second level is an actual, like, feat. It's really impressive. But every 5 levels, you get an ability score increase where your scores, right, you can increase 2 by 1 or 1 by 2. But once they are higher than 17, when you do the by 2, you can only increase it by 1 and it takes both slots. So if you have a 17th strength and you want to make it any higher, it costs a whole level's worth to get it to 18 kind of thing. So yeah. Let's see. If it's lower than 16 though, so any of the 14s, 11s, all that fun stuff, it increases by 2 when you increase it. Sorry, I did that wrong. You don't get to pick 2, you get to pick 1. And if it's 16 or lower, you get +2. If it's 17 or higher, you get a +1. And you get one of those every 5 levels. You get class features whenever on your chart it gives you class features. You can change stuff every single level if you decide, hey, I hate the things I picked before, I want completely new stuff. When you level up is when you can change it. Or for like the Solarian there, you get to change what your armor looks like every time you level up if you want to. Next is adding feats or theme benefits.
Does the look affect the performance?
No, it's purely cosmetic.
So could I have it look like my skin?
Yes, 100%.
Would that give me a surprise advantage?
I don't think it would give you a surprise advantage. I mean, because it's still glowy or darkness. I mean,
you have it glow dark black.
Right, but your skin's probably not dark black. But yeah, it wouldn't do anything special. But you could 100% have it be skin tight.
Okay.
Let's see. Your character gets a new feat every odd numbered level. This is in addition to any bonus feats that they might get from their class. When choosing a new feat, make sure you check the prerequisites, blah, blah, blah. You guys know how to do that. Investing skill ranks. Every time your level is up, you gain a number of skill ranks based on your class intelligence modifier, blah, blah, blah. We explained how to do it when we built our characters. Again, Riley, I will fix your stuff in the near future. So, the other big thing is multi-classing. I, as a DM, am going to politely ask that you guys do not multi-class while we are learning the system, and just pick with what you want. But on the offhand, if you are playing a class and you're like, this is literally the worst thing I've ever played and I hate it, we can talk about retraining. Um, Usually, when we allow it, it's cost some kind of like major thing. If we get a couple levels into things and you're just not having fun with your character kind of thing and you want to retrain as another class, I will basically just take all of your magic items as compensation. Is the easiest way to do it. And then in-class retraining, so like picking, new spells or whatnot. If you guys change those in between levels, that's on you as long as you can do so, because some of them require you to have stuff. But it's pretty well listed when you're picking stuff up. Let's see. Not worried about any of that. Okay, so on the basics, before I get into skills and the whatnot, do you guys have any questions about those basic stuff?
Seems fit just fine.
Okay, cool. Again, you guys are all experienced role players, so I'm not super worried about it.
I would call me more average. I wouldn't use experienced as a great word.
Okay.
I'm more average.
Okay, I will keep that in mind. So, skills. Skills cover a lot of stuff, obviously. But the breadth of what each skill can do is kind of flexible, to say the least. Some things that you can do that are kind of cool are the take 10 and take 20s. And take 10 is literally you just, instead of rolling your d20, you say, I'm going to take 10, and you get a 10 on your score. Not all checks can use a take 10, but for the most part, as long as you're not in a combat situation, take 10s are something you can totally do. So usually when it's like, oh, hey, I got a couple minutes, can try a couple times, whatever. The next thing is a taking 20.
Completely focus nothing but on that.
Yeah, the next thing is taking 20, which takes several minutes of in-game time. And again, you can't be in any kind of stressful situations, and it cannot be a skill that you could fail and bad things happen to you. But taking 20 just allows you to you're going to get a critical, basically, and succeed. And this is for stuff that's like, yada yada, your way through things. And it's, multiple attempts, it doesn't happen immediately, so on and so forth. So you'll be able to use that to kind of skip past things if you feel that you don't care how long it takes. That kind of thing. Aid another, right? So you can help other people. This is pretty much, you spend an action to do so if you're in combat or something like that. But out of, you make a DC 10 check, and that creature gets a +2 bonus to their check, as long as you are, before the end of your next turn. So it's something really easy. You just roll a 10 in whatever skill you're trying to do, and you get to give whoever's making the check a +2, and that's basically you pointing over the shoulder saying, press that button or we explode. Identifying creatures has its own special thing. To identify them, there are 3 types, basically. And it is creature 5. So, very common creatures are 5 plus 1.5 times the creature's thing. Average, so most monsters are 10 plus 1.5 times the creature's CR. And then rare creatures are 15 times whatever, right? And once you learn that, it gives you whatnot. Depending on the creature type, determines the type of skill. It's either going to be life science or mysticism. Let's see. That. Question difficulty, so recalling knowledge. Either if it's stuff that we've played through and you're like, I don't remember someone's name, you can roll for it and I can tell you what it is. Or if you're like, I think my character would know it, but I don't. Really easy questions are a base DC of 5. Normal questions are 15, and then very difficult questions can range anywhere from 20 to 30. As a general rule. I get to set those, so haha, Nini, it's on me. Let's see. Not worried about that. So, acrobatics lets you do balance rolls, escape rolls, flying. When you fly, it also helps you avoid falling damage and things like that. And flying is literally like if you have wings or are using a jetpack, not necessarily driving.
What about zero gravity?
That can fall under tumble, but that also might be under flying as well, and that's under acrobatics. After that is and tumble, which again is just kind of a rolling whatever, especially when you have extra stuff on you. Next up is athletics. So athletics controls your jumping, climbing, and swimming stuff. Obviously, you have speeds, but there are various things that could slow you down, like, hey, there's a really strong current in the water. Things like that. Bluff lets you do a diversion check, a feint check, or a lie check. It also allows you to pass secret messages. Computers allows you to access unsecured systems, make a computer itself, detect or make a forgery, destroy or repair system modules, detect fake shells, which is something inside computers. Computers has their own system of how to break into them, and it's super great and complicated. Disable or manipulate modules, gain root access, hack systems. All that is under the computer skill. It's great. Culture allows you to decipher writings and recall knowledge, along with some other various checks about like what do they do. A lot of that will fall under recall knowledge. Next up is diplomacy, which allows you to change a character's attitude and or gather information. So 2 things it does. So NPCs come in 5 types of attitudes. So there's hostile, unfriendly, indifferent, friendly, and helpful. Unfriendly or hostile obviously are going to try and kill you instantaneously. Unfriendly are not going to help you by any means, and they will harm you given the chance. Indifferent doesn't care one way or the other as long as you don't mess with them. Most people are going to be indifferent. Friendly characters try to help you if they can, as long as it doesn't hurt them in any way. And then helpful is they will do whatever they can to help you guys, whether it hurts them or not. And you can change a creature's attitude by 1 based on a DC check. And then obviously gather information. Next up is disguise, change appearance, so literally putting on stuff. That's what it is. There's a various sets of modifiers and things depending on what you're trying to change about your character. Engineering, arm explosives, assess stability. So like, looking at a bridge and be like, we can cross that, we cannot cross that. Craft tech items, disable devices, identify creatures, and identify technology. And repair items. It's super useful, so if you don't have engineering, you're wrong. Next up is Intimidate. You got Bully and Immortalize. They both do different things, but they're skills you can do in combat and out of combat. Bullying works just like the Persuade creature in the diplomacy thing. Life Science. Craft drugs, poisons, medicines. Craft food and drinks. Identify creatures or recall knowledge. Medicine does first aid, long-term care, long-term stability, treat deadly wounds, treat disease, treat drugs or poison. Mysticism covers crafting magical items, disabling magical items, identifying spells, identifying creatures, identifying magic items. As well as...
Is that kind of like Arcana?
Is that kind of like what?
Arcana?
Yeah, it is Arcana. That's the easiest way to think about it. Also lets you recall knowledge and repair items as long as they have some sort of magic. Then there's Perception, which is notice and perceive disguise, as well as search. All 3 of those are under Perception, so you don't have to worry about investigation. That is part of search. Physical Science allows you to craft drugs, poisons, or medical stuff, or recall knowledge. Piloting, fire starship guns, navigate starships, pilot a starship, pilot a regular vehicle. All that is covered. It is actually super important for anyone who wants to be the quote-unquote pilot. As of now, for character stuff, my character has good piloting stuff. So if we don't have anyone that decides to be ace pilot, you got me. But if you want to run a gun on the ship later on, you're also gonna need it. All the stuff in ships require piloting. Professions, right? So this is, again, you get to pick You're skilled in specific genre, specialty, or creative art. You know how to use tools of your trade, how to perform the profession's daily task. Excuse me, sorry. How to supervise others, and how to handle common problems. A profession is actually a number of separate skills you could use to do whatever. Again, basically, if your profession covers it and it's better scored than your one of the other skills, you can use it in place of. Again, for those that you got to pick it because of your thing, you get to do so. There's 2 profession slots, so technically you could take 2 professions if you really wanted to. I think at the moment we're going to start with one, and as you level up, you might gain another. The other skill it determines is earning a living. You can use your profession to earn money. This is going to be important for our rock star, because if you do concerts and things while we are traveling, you'll make money. At my discretion. Last up is Sense Motive, which is your wisdom-based skill. Detects deception, discern secret messages, sense mental effects. That's about it. Sleight of hand. You get to entertain. So if I'm doing something fun in front of an audience, juggling and whatnot. Hide object, palm object, pickpocket. Those are things that sleight of hand covers. Gonna be stealing all y'all's money. You'll never know. Next up is Dex, is Stealth, which has hide. Invisibility and hiding has different rules. I talked about this earlier, but if you are invisible, you are basically completely concealed, and you get a plus 40 to your stealth checks. If you are concealed and not moving, you also get a plus 40. If you are just concealed, you get a plus 20. And obviously when you're hiding and whatnot, if you attack from hiding, unless you have something that stops creatures from seeing you, like, invisibility cloak or something silly, you are automatically given away. I like how it censors my drink. I wonder if it'll... Ha! Great. Anyway.
Hey, by the way, I tried the watermelon bang.
And? Yeah. Okay.
Really didn't taste watermelon. It didn't taste very watermelon, really.
I'm sorry.
But I did.
Gotta go with the classics. Regular monster.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have done watermelon, but that's a story for another time. The other thing that
Powerhead's good.
stealth covers is sniping. Okay, so the sniping thing takes away 20 of that plus 40 that we talked about earlier, but allows you to do a free attack without losing your concealment. But you have to make a separate check for it. Survival covers all kinds of stuff. Enduring weather, handling animals, living off the land, orientating yourself, predicting weather, and rearing wild animals. Following tracks, handling animals, riding creatures, whether they're mounting or flying or whatever. And riding the creature has a whole bunch of various stats that come with it. If we ever get to ride creatures, I will let you know what they are. And that's it. So those are the basic skill checks. But a lot of times if I ask for something that doesn't seem right or you think could fit in another skill category for your character specifically, feel free to bring it up. Worst comes to worst, you're right. Let's see what else we got. Tactical rules that we'll be using are going to be basic from top to bottom. I'm not doing anything super crazy out of the book. Let's see. I'm going to try and avoid weapon and armor damage to your characters unless it is for plot reasons for the most part. Just to make our life a little bit easier. We will have the flat-footed condition, so keep that in mind if you get caught by surprise or something makes you flat-footed, like you're over encumbered or whatnot. Flanking rules gives you a +2. I'm going to say it's a +2. when you flank, and it has to be on the opposite side of the creature, and the creature cannot be 2 sizes larger than you. So for our Yosuke friend, if you're fighting a large creature, you cannot flank it. Sorry. If we're fighting a huge creature, you cannot flank it. You can flank large creatures. Starships. I have a hex board for starships. It doesn't have any fancy patterns. It's just a hex board. So we'll be using that for gameplay stuff. Again, like I said before, I have built our ship. It took me quite some time to get the math right on it, but you have a ship. You'll be able to use it once you get to a certain point in the story. And it levels up with you guys. Some of the stuff you get will be for free. Some of the stuff you'll get as mission rewards and things like that. And worst come to worst, the ship gets destroyed and you got to build a new one. So not worried about that. Not worried about that. Again, when and if we get to flying the ship, I will talk more about the ship actions and things like that. Just know it's its own quarter of a book. I'm going to skip these spells and whatnot because none of you guys are magic based, thank goodness. And I'm pretty sure our other compatriot, when they join, will also probably avoid the spell stuff. Is my guess. Traps have their own CR and give you their own experience, so expect traps in the future. The style of campaign that we should be running, by the way, is deadly, right? Is how we're starting off. You can die, and it doesn't necessarily have to be slow. You know what I mean? You'll get obviously all the chances you're supposed to be given from the thing, but if there are appropriate situations where your character is dead, and there's like, sure you have resolve points, but you just got thrown into space, and there's no getting saved by the ship because it's also blown up, you're just gonna die. Now, on that note, though, if I do a DM mess up and just throw things at you guys that are just completely ridiculous because I don't know what they are and what they're supposed to do, I may be kind and forgiving and give you all health back and whatnot as necessary.
You're like, oh, this is kind of cool. You put it out there and you start reading as you're attacking. You're like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. If I have one of those moments, I expect there to be some storyline BS to save you, and or it was all a dream. Try again. Don't be dumb.
You're like, a meteor falls out the sky and just levels this thing.
Okay, so
yeah, I've done that before. It's fun.
We will be playing on the Pack Worlds to start. I'm not going to tell you where because that kind of is half the fun of you starting out and figuring out where you're at. But you are in a Pack World or whatnot. The Pack World is basically just the playing area for the system. But because of how big the galaxy is and whatnot, we don't necessarily have to stay in the Pack Worlds. They're just the main ones that I don't have to make up all the facts about. But that doesn't mean we have to stay in them as we go and do things. When you get a chance, you should probably read through the Pack Worlds to know at least a little bit about them. Go through the basic creatures and see what fun stuff they have there. There's all kinds of themes and factions and whatnot. And since this is based off Pathfinder, there is plane shifting and things like that. Again, we're pretty low on the magic side of things for the most part, so it won't be a major topic for us as characters probably, but there is the possibility of that kind of stuff. Gods do affect things. I'm going to do my usual, hey, you can make a god call as a action or a full action. And you roll a d100, and depending on your roll, something may or may not happen. And that's just a bonus thing that is fun, because, why not? Not worried about that stuff. Again, we're not worried about that, because that was from before. Okay, what was the other thing? Sorry. Oh, actions and things like that, right? So actual, in-combat stuff, how things work. because they're a little bit different than D&D, right? So D&D has your action, move action, bonus action, right? Instead, on this one, you have, combat round. Starts with a surprise round, always, if there's a surprise. Some of your characters, like the operative, can kind of make their own surprise rounds happen, as long as we succeed on some of our checks. Armor class, right? Just a generic AC versus whatever. There's the energy armor class and the kinetic armor class. And like I said before, the energy armor class is only affected when something has fire, electric, whatever else that has like an elemental effect to it. And the KAC is everything else. Bludgeoning, slashing, piercing, all that fun stuff is all covered under the KAC. If something doesn't tell you what AC it attacks, it probably attacks the KAC. Let's see. We talked about the stamina points and healing points already. Again, your stamina pool goes away first, and then you go into your health. You can regenerate stuff via powers and or taking a 10-minute nap, but it does not regenerate in between rounds. It is whatever it is, and then subtracts from there. Criticals and automatic misses. So critical fail is a 1. Your turn ends. That's it. Game over. Doesn't matter what else you were doing. You're done. If you're casting magic or using an item for some reason that has some kind of various effect, like I have a hand grenade and I just critically failed on the attack roll, well, you just dropped the grenade at your feet. Things like that. Though with regular weapons, swords, and whatnot, you will probably not be having too many of the extra fun effects until we get the system down a little bit better. Criticals are stated as per now. You just get an extra damage die plus whatever special critical that the weapon gives you. Again, once we get into the system a little bit better, if I find the need to be like, hey, we're going to add extra fun stuff to it, we will. Let's see, what else we got? Worried about ability checks. Ability checks are generally going to be standard actions when you do them, unless specifically stated. Actions in combat. So, the 4 standard key actions, right, are standard actions, which are performing an action generally the main bit of your turn, most commonly used to make an attack, cast a spell, or use some kind of special power. Your move action, which is just your movement, where you can move your speed, though some powers allow you to use your movement for other stuff. Swift actions consume a very small amount of time. They're basically a bonus action. And then last is a full action, which is, it takes up your entire turn. You give up everything that you would give. You get no other actions except for this full action. And then after that, there's one more. There's the reaction. Again, some powers allow you to have reaction, or you can make opportunity attacks. I can actually list off some of the actions that count as standard actions, move action. Do you want me to read through those at all?
Sure.
Alright, so standard actions. Activate an item. Attack, melee ranged. Cast a spell. A combat maneuver. Concentrate to maintain a spell. So if you have a spell that is a concentrate spell, again, doesn't apply to you guys, but whatever. Covering fire. Dismissing a spell. A feint. Fighting defensively. Harrying fire. Total defense. And using special abilities. Those are all standard actions. Move actions are crawling, directing or redirecting effect, drawing or sheathing a weapon, guarded step, which is you get to move 1 square while still in a enemy's attack range without provoking opportunity attacks, manipulating an item, moving your speed, reloading, standing up. Swift actions, changing grips on a weapon, so going from 2-hand to 1-hand, or switching from holding a gun in 1 hand to putting it in 2 hands so you can actually use it. Dropping prone. Full actions are a charge, which is a special a coup de grace, fighting defensively, full attack, a run, or withdrawal. Reactions are opportunity attacks, and anything that says, hey, this takes a reaction. And other actions are combat banter, which is just talking and whatnot, doesn't actually cost anything, it's basically a free action. Delaying your turn in combat, dropping an item, readying an action, and using a skill. Now, with the using the skill, I will preference that is kind of dependent on what the skill is. So, just, before you are like, I'm going to use a sense motive check as my full action, ask me beforehand so I can clarify. Let's see.
Hey, Riley, do you know what my character's name is?
What is it?
Johnny Rico. You know what his occupation is?
What?
Starship Trooper.
Can't with you.
It would have been really funny if you had picked the Sheeran class, the insect people, though. Just utter. Can your character just hate those people? Just their only good bug is a dead bug. I need that out of your character, please. Okay, so let's see. Oh, so just so you guys know, the squares which you guys affect with spells and things, they are cast from one corner or the other, and they are counted out in intersections of the squares. So it's not like, so if you do a line attack, it goes from interaction square of a corner to the other interaction square of a corner. Basically, for most stuff, it takes away 5 feet of would-be spell casting. To make up for it, they got some wonky spells, but that's just how it be. Let's see. We talked about that. Range penalties. If you shoot farther than your weapon's range, you take negatives to it. For most weapons, the maximum range is 10 times the number listed at the weapon's range. So, for that 30 for the pistol, I could actually shoot at 300, but if I shoot it over the 30, I start taking negative penalties. You take a cumulative -2 penalty to attack for each full range increment of distance between you and the target beyond. So, every 30 feet past 30, I take a -2 to take shots. For the exception of snipers. Snipers have specific stuff that allows them to ignore that. Let's see. Casting while threatened. Again, you guys aren't casters, so I don't got to worry about that. Combat maneuvers. So, as a standard action, you guys can do these. When you make these attacks, they are 8 plus whatever the enemy's KAC is. Oh, excuse me. You have the Bull Rush, which knocks the 5, plus knocks them back 5 feet, plus an extra 5 for every 5 feet that you exceed the check. If an obstacle is in the way, the target stops at the obstacle. Dirty Trick. You make an unauthorized attack to hinder the target. It is also 8 plus the KAC and gives them one of the various effects like blinded, deafened, entangled, off target, shaken, or sickened. You get to pick. It goes for 1 round, but if you succeed by more than 5, you get an extra round. Disarm. You can knock an enemy's item out of their hand. For the exception of the Solarian there, you can also get disarmed. Be careful. And if you have a free hand, you can automatically grab the item with your hand before it falls. So if you are fighting someone dual wielding with a giant hammer and you go, "Not for you, hacha!" You can also grab it. You might not be able to use it, but, intimidating when you steal someone's hammer out of their hand. You can grapple people. This just entangles them, and grappled, it is their KAC plus 13 is the check. So, grappling is considerably harder. And they have to use their acrobatic skill to break free. But to escape, they also have to break your KAC plus 13. So, good luck escaping grappled if you ever get grappled. Repositioned allows you to move to a different position within 5 feet of the original placement. Basically, you're just politely moving someone up to 5 to 10 feet differently without bull rushing them, which would push them away from you. You get to just move with them. And this can be allies or enemies if you succeed. Because you can choose to fail checks, and so you want to get moved by someone, you can get moved by someone. Sunder, which is damaging an object held in someone's hands. The object must be something that can be drawn easily by the target as a move action. The damage is reduced by the amount it equal to the object's hardness, which in general, for you guys, so you know, that is equal to whatever the weapon or item's level is. For the exception of stuff that's like walls and things like that. And then there's Trip, which is knocking someone prone, or knocking them off kilter if they're in space. And that's just the regular KAC plus 8. Covering fire. You can use your standard action to make range attacks to provide cover for an ally. Make a range attack roll against an AC of 15. If you hit, it deals no damage, but an ally gains a +2 bonus to their AC against the next attack from the creature in your line of sight. So you could cover a whole bunch of people if you want to. There's fencing, which is 15 plus 1.5 the opponent's CR. It's 10 plus your opponent's sense motive, or 15 plus the opponent's CR, whichever is greater. You can't fend a target that lacks intelligence score, and you can't take 10 or 20 on the creature. When you successfully fend the creature, you treat your opponent as if flat-footed for the next attack. Look, my hand's up here. Stab! That will be mine. I will do that a lot. I guarantee it. Fighting defensively. When you attacking as part of a standard action, if you do so, you take a -4 penalty to attacks, but gain a +2 bonus to AC until the start of your next turn. Sorry, Spain texted me. I have no idea what he's talking about. Okay, whatever. I will deal with that momentarily. What was I? Sorry. I know, I'm boring you guys to death, but this is important. Herring Fire. Range attack distracts foes in a line of sight. AC of 15 if you hit, deals no damage, but the next ally to attack the foe gets a +2 bonus to their hit. So instead of giving the person AC, you give them a +2 to hit. So next is Total Defense, standard action. You get a +4 bonus to your armor class until the start of your next turn. It takes up your standard action, but you also cannot combine defensive fighting and any other actions to increase your AC. Sorry, give me a second. I have to do something on my phone. Weird. Okay, well, the Sultan's high. Sorry, I can't do anything on my computer because we are still streaming. How are we doing on time, speaking of? Alright, we got 20-ish more minutes. Let's see. Full actions. So there's the charge, right? You draw your weapon during your charge attack, as long as your base attack bonus is a +1. So for the three of us, or two of us, that don't have a base attack bonus of 1 right now, we can't charge. But for those of you that can't, as a full action, you have to move at least 10 feet. You have to go in a straight line, or diagonal line, but it still has to be straight. Have to have a clear path, so no rough terrain, or at least no rough terrain that counts against you. After moving, you make a single melee attack. You take a -2 penalty to the attack roll and a -2 penalty to the AC until the start of your next turn. You can't move any further than after attack. So okay, but what is the bonus to this? Sorry. Sorry. Charging in a full action allows you to move up to double your speed and make a melee attack at the end of the movement. So charging is, I go very fast, and then you make one attack. Good first level. After that, Coup de Grace. It's full action, you can deliver a special attack. Adjacent to a helpless opponent, you automatically score a hit and a critical hit. If the target survives the damage, they must succeed on a fortitude saving throw or die. However, if the target is immune to critical hits, the Coup de Grace does not deal critical damage or effects, nor does it force the target to succeed on the saving throw and die. There's not too many creatures that is effective on, but some of them just don't have to make saves. Basically, legendary creatures that are gigantic, you can't insta-kill. We already talked about fighting defensively, but you can do it as a full action. You also, yeah, that's you can take it as a full action for some reason instead of just a standard action, because you don't necessarily have to attack on your turn when you fight defensively. You can also do other stuff. The full attack, you can spend a full action to make 2 attacks, each with a -4 penalty to the attack roll. These attacks can be made with the same weapon or different weapons, though certain weapons have a firing speed too slow that you can't shoot them more than once in a round. Even with the full attack, these weapons have unwieldy. If these weapons have the unwieldy property, you can't use them. Certain weapons have special individualized full attacks. For instance, some weapons have fully automatic attack modes, and sometimes special attacks, such as the Soldier's Onslaught class feature, require specialized training in order to gain their benefits. Okay. Full action run. When you run, you can move up to 4 times your speed in a straight line. You gain the flat-footed condition, but you go very fast. And then withdraw is basically the step away and don't get hit. It's a full action. When you draw, you can move up to double your speed. Square starting out is not considered threatening by any opponents, but after that first square, it counts as opportunity attacks if you run past more of them. Let's see. Again, use a skill. Generally an action unless stated otherwise. We're not worried about injury or death. Massive damage. If you take damage from a single hat that reduces you to 0 HP, and there's damage remaining, you die instantly if the remaining damage is equal or greater than your maximum hit points. So, if you take, at our beginning level, something hits you for 37 damage, you die. No saving, no coming back, you just dead because it crushed you into a million pieces. Again, I will try to avoid starting with monsters that can murk you guys off the bat. Stabilizing characters. You got first aid, healing, and resolve points. All that fun stuff. Okay. There's various stuff for staying alive, long-term stability, all that fun stuff. So if you guys get put in a coma, you have to make checks every once in a while. Not worried about that. Temporary hit points. Temporary hit points.
Hold on, bro. How can you make checks if you're in a coma? You physically.
So other characters make checks for you, and you basically make death saving throws to where if you fail, you die. Because you cling into life as hard as you can, kind of thing. Because you can get stabilized at 0 resolve points. And then you're stuck there until you heal. Regular healing occurs over time. Let's see. With a full night's rest, 8 hours of sleep, you recover 1 HP per character level. Any significant interruption prevents you from healing that night. If you undergo complete bed rest for 24 hours, you recover 2 HP per character level. So when we do this first combat-y stuff, if you get beat up, you're going to have to nap for days to get your health back. Luckily, once you get a ship, traveling is not instantaneous. It is depending on the engine you have. But generally it takes a couple days to get to most places. So while you are chilling in the ship, you heal. Say what?
What about aging?
That's as per normal for whatever your race is.
So if we go to a planet that's 10 light years away, we're fucked.
Well, so that is what the engines. There's a thing called the jump drive, sorry, that's not what it's called. It is called drift drive, drift engines, which sends you into the drift, which is a special thing for Starfinder. Basically, I'll go into the settings on this one. A new god called Turbine, I think, or Turbuline, something like that, which is the machine god who gave androids sentience. Also gave every known culture the ability to have warp drive planet stuff.
It sounds like a cool guy.
Yeah, allegedly, right? Lots of people theorize that there's some kind of ulterior motive behind it, because every time a ship makes a jump into the drift, a little piece of the material plane comes with it. So while you're going through the drift, sometimes you can run into creatures in combat that are just flying through there, that just happen to get sucked up by the drift magic. Okay. And it can only be accessed via technology. It is not something that magic does anything with. It is a technology-based thing. As a consequence of the drift engine coming, though, there's this wonderful thing that about 300 years ago in game time stuff, most of history was deleted. Creatures just don't know about what happened. It's super hard to find any kind of information on it. Stuff like that. Obviously, families and people that live there can talk about, afterwards, because, there are some elves and things like that lives for hundreds of years. They just don't remember the first couple hundred years of their life for some reason. They can't tell you anything about it. They could tell you the people they knew and grew up with and that kind of stuff, but that was, about it. Which is just an effect of what they call the gap. So pre-gap technology is generally a little bit more archaic comparatively to what they have now. But not always. There are plenty of people that try to find answers about the drift engines and all that fun stuff. Let's see what else. With that, concealment and cover. Going back to the mechanics really quick. Non-lethal damage. You can choose to do non-lethal damage with some of your weapons by aiming at stuff that won't kill people, or specifically calling out, hey, I'm going to hit them with the side of my sword so they don't die. But it is assumed that if a weapon does lethal damage, it does lethal damage unless you say otherwise. And vice versa, if you do something that has non-lethal damage, it does that automatically. I'm not going to worry about negative levels at this point because you're level 1. If you go into the negatives at first level, you die. Basically, if you ever take enough negative levels to get to 0, you die. Combat modifiers, concealment. Gives you a varying degree to hit. It actually gives you... So, when you have concealment, your AC may or may not change, but after you roll to hit, you roll a D100, and if you roll a 20% on it or lower, you miss. So basically, if you roll 0 to 20, when something has concealment, you'll miss the attack, even if you hit their AC. Though I might change the order to where you roll first to see if you even have to roll your D20, just to make life easy. Some creatures get to ignore concealment, so like my character, because I have dark vision, low light, and blind sense, if you're next to me, I can see you. And I get to reroll attacks on this concealment, so... Amy. If you have total concealment, the chances jump from a 20% to a 50%. Cover depends on the type of cover you have, but it ranges anywhere from like a +4, +2, +8, and or not being able to hit things. Being prone gives you a -4 to melee attacks, but gives you a +4 AC to ranged attacks. Yeah. Creature size is pretty normal. Flying, swimming. Again, flying is based on your race and or if you're wearing a jetpack. All that is described in the item stuff. Climbing is half your speed. Burrowing is only granted to those creatures that have a burrowing speed. Swimming is half your normal speed, unless you're given something special. There's various movement over land that actually has rules for it. Some creatures have advanced senses for whatever reasons, like hearing and whatnot. I don't think any of you guys do, so you don't have to really worry about it. There's 4 states of awareness: unaware, aware, aware of location, and observing. Most of the time when you interact with creatures, you are observing them, but sometimes not so much. For you guys to get the books, there are abilities, right? So there's the extraordinary abilities, which are EX, which are non-magic based abilities that don't require much of anything, you're just very strong. There's spell-like abilities, which are spells and the like. And there's supernatural abilities, which are very much and only spells. They can't be produced by technological means. Yeah, I don't know. The rest of this is whatever. For defining effects and whatnot, like I talked about, they're kind of weird. There's a little chart on page 269 that explains them. So when we get to that point, if we have to deal with that kind of stuff, that's what we'll check out. We're not worried about that. Again, I'm not going to describe all the conditions. We'll get to that as we need to. Vehicle rules. Off kilter. So that's when you're floating in space and you don't have anything to grab onto. You have some like -4s to most stuff. Off kilter specifically. You can't move actions to move your speed, crawl, or take a guarded step. You are flat-footed and take a -2 penalty to all attack rolls. You must use a method of propulsion to right yourself or grab a stabilizing object, such as a wall or ladder, to become non-off kiltered. Flat-footed, right? If you're surprised, flat-footed, blah, blah, blah. It gives you a -2 penalty to your AC, as well as makes you susceptible to various other effects.
Yeah, Hayana, kick him.
Yeah. Again, a lot of this is just yada yada bullshit that I will tell you as we're going along. Do you guys have any questions before I wrap up this session?
Boom? You know anything about boom?
Boons. So that's something that's more of late game once you get past 20, or like you've done something exceptional for a god and they grant you a boon.
How hard are they to get boons? Is it like a fucking roll 100 again?
It's more of DM pick.
Ah.
Again, not something you guys will probably be worrying about.
I like that. That's awesome. Are we good to go, Raj?
Yes, the only question for you guys that I have, how often are you guys wanting to do this month / following months? Again,
Wednesdays are good days for me.
Okay, good to know.
I'm usually not that busy at work. Today was a fucking fuck up because everybody and their mother needed a blood transfusion for some mystical reason. So that was fun.
It'd be like that sometimes. What do you,
Wednesdays are a good day for me too.
okay. What do you guys? How do you guys feel about doing this every other week? So we take a week off next week and then do it the following week, or do the first 2 weeks of the month and then take the next 2 weeks off.
I'm down for every Wednesday, but my biggest problem is this next week I'm gonna be up and Reading again. So I
Right.
mean I could probably play it there. It'll just
Yeah.
be like awkward.
Yeah.
So if we want to take this next Wednesday off and then just kick it off, I'd be cool with that.
I'm more okay with the every other Wednesday
Okay.
because I have a guild I have to run.
Okay. So let's at this point plan for every other Wednesday. If that
Works for
changes,
me.
obviously we can talk about it in the subscriber area. We're doing this for you guys for free, and sometimes if we have an actual game that pops up, I'm going to tell you guys and be like, hey, someone's paying us to play. Obviously, we're going to do the stuff that gets us paid over the free stuff. We should continue recording and doing Twitch stuff. If you guys have any questions for offline and whatnot, feel free to message me. I'm pretty sure all of you have me somewhere at least.
Or
the
in more places than I should.
the 30th.
Say what? Sorry.
The dates for the gameplay is 16th and the 30th for September.
Okay. That sounds
Sounds good.
yeah. So we're skipping next week, which is the 7th, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that'll be the game days. As of now, again, we'll send out stuff if stuff changes or if we have different ideas or whatever. The other person that's supposed to be here is an important collage of this, so his schedule will also be very important on determining when we get to play. But as of now, every other Wednesday is the plan.
Cool.
Yeah.
How you been, Russ?
Busy.
I'm gonna illustrate real quick.
Yeah. Whew. I'm looking forward to this week off, bro. It's been nothing but ground running since day one.